Whoops. Welcome back to Bread and Butter, where we're serving up the basics for Hearthstone Improvement. This is episode 149. I'm Tito Santana, as always, joined by Pylet. Pylet, how are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic, and we are not joined by one, not by two, but by three amazing, wonderful, fantastic guesses. First off, we have returning guest Hydralisk. Hydra, how are you today?
Yo, I am doing fantastic. Super glad to be here, Tito.
And Sheep, how are you today? ElectricSheepCity.
Meowdy, friends. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm still fantastic, just like last time. And we have Schmoopydady. Pew 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 pew. How are you, Schmoopy? There we go. I don't know if that's gonna come through, but we'll find out.
I did my Murgles.
Oh, yeah, well.
I did my Murgles. I'm all right.
This is if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock or something, Hydra, Sheep, and Schmoopydady make up the Born to Be Wild podcast. We are gracious. They were gracious enough to come over as a group today, but we're also going to be putting this on their feed. So if you're over there on Born to Be Wild and you're like, why does this sound so different? That's why. Hydra, what have you been doing inside of Hearthstone lately?
Well, I have been obsessed with playing the Garona Rogue. It is easily accessible because a lot of people already have a lot of pirates, and I have pirates. So I've been doing that on Asia, on EU. I've been doing that on NA. It was really easy to craft on the other servers just because I only really needed to make a couple things, which was cool because basically if you've ever played any aggressive rogue deck, you kind of already have the core of it. So that's mostly what I've been doing in Wild. I have been playing a little bit of Standard, and I had one of those quests play 3 mage decks. And I was like, okay, what should I play? And Elemental Mage right now is on fire, really. That deck is super fast. It's low to the ground. It's got burn. And I've been playing that, and it's super cool. I currently have a 91% win rate with Elemental Mage in Standard right now. It is
Low
awesome.
for Wild.
So low for yeah. No, it's it's fun. I like it. And then, yes, I've just been keeping up with recently, as people may know, I did retire the other servers a few years back, to about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I picked it up recently, but the catch-up packs, everything that they have, the mechanisms to get you back in the game is insane. It's awesome, and I just been doing that recently, and I feel like I haven't actually missed that much. And I'm doing the thing where I'm now opening 10 packs from each expansion to get that one or up to 10 packs before you get that first legendary. And it's just filling out that collection again that I had abandoned for a while, with also not a lot of pressure. I haven't made sure. I used to not be able to sleep at night because I forgot to do quests, kind of thing, right? And if I miss one, I miss one. It's not a big deal. Yeah, Sheep, you know. I was crazy about it for a while, but I'm just doing it casually now, and it's been awesome. So basically, that's what I've been doing in the game right now.
When I was trying to get better at the game, which I still always am, but a while back, I decided to I'll try to get Legend everywhere. So I was getting Legend on all 3 servers and Wild on Americas, and that was exhausting. And I'm just why am I doing this to myself? So
I will say the only reason I started doing it in the first place a long time ago was there wasn't mercenaries, there wasn't duels, there wasn't battlegrounds, there wasn't other ways to play the game, right? It was a very basic game where you could play arena constructed in Tavern Brawl, and I got a little bored. I think that's why I started doing it. There's so many ways to play the game now that's a little unnecessary.
Yeah, you got Standard, you got Wild, you got Twist. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't
Anyway.
rub it in.
How could you do that to sheep?
That's
Well,
rude.
anyway,
He twisted his broken heart.
What a twist.
well, if I twisted a broken heart, am I maybe putting it back together in the right way?
No.
I don't know.
Entropy says probably not.
So for those that don't know Sheep, because Sheep hasn't been a recent guest, but Sheep had been a frequent guest, especially early on when we weren't having Doc. He was a fill-in host, and then he decided to, I think, go back to school and have children. So his podcast time seemed to have gone down. But we love Sheep, and we're glad to have you back, Sheep. How are you today? What have you been doing in Hearthstone?
I'm doing well, buddy. Thank you for asking. In Hearthstone, I've been playing a lot of that fun rogue that Hydra mentioned. I call it fun rogue because
It is fun.
It's just it's the aggro, and then you got your combo finisher, but it's not really a combo finisher. It's fun. Treant Druid, been playing a little bit of that. Finally tied my shoelaces and hit legend and NA wild. So I'm just outside of 100. I think I was like 150-ish. So just outside of like top 100. I'm probably gonna I finished last season inside top 100 in NA and EU. So I felt like really good about that. And I want to get like back there again because it's like, within reach. But need to tie my shoes in EU as well. So
That's amazing.
was number 10 there.
Yeah.
Number 10 out of 250 people is really good.
EU actually has a larger legend pool, and it's not Twist. So in standard, I've mostly just been playing like THL prep, which like typically get like I'm Diamond 5 in standard NA right now, which is just playing for THL prep, pretty standard there.
Pun intended. Got it. Schmoopy,
Yeah.
what have you been doing inside Hearthstone lately?
Sure. So I think last time since I've been on, I've put out a couple of meta reports every 2 weeks. I try to time it. It's just what was funny about this particular one was, at least the previous one was, we had like, oh, new cards are coming out. Why bother? Oh, early ballads patch. Why bother? And so this is basically the follow up to that. And what's kind of unique and kind of fun is putting one of these together. It's always so funny how much better like this particular type of video always does better on YouTube than other people, because like there's some content that you can find and you can read, but not a lot of like just sort of sit down, record a thing and send a thing out. So that's a fun video to make too, because we have a lot of like emerging decks right now in Wild that might actually be really, really good. So we'll talk about that later, I'm sure. Also made a guide on one of those emerging decks, Treant Druid, which is funny because not only does it have close to tier 1 stats, but it looks like mega cheap on paper. Like I think it's like 2100 dust. Like it's nothing. It's basically a legendary and an epic and you're there. So the fact that it's so accessible and so cheap, but also kind of an intricate, weird deck to play, that's like a unique combination of, oh wow, it's so cheap but also complicated. Last but not
I've been
least,
seeing it. I hope that's not your fault.
last but not least, I hit legend on EU with Treant Druid yesterday. And I came in at rank 252, which is cool because if I never touch EU again, I might be able to camp my way to 11x. Hopefully not a high 10x, which is like hell to climb. So we'll see. But the trees are good. The trees are good, and it's like it's constantly playing around like how much do I buff my board? What do I hold for the draw turn? How much do I tempo? It's like it's a lot of micro decisions for an aggro deck, which usually, I'm always informed that aggro decks are for idiots. So like, ouch. But like this one I'm really counting on my fingers and toes. There's no socks when I stream this one.
Nice. And I don't think 250. I don't think 250 out of 252 out of 250 is great, but that's okay.
I have to see how many people are on EU. Hold on.
This Tito guy is pretty funny, hey?
It was about 2,500. I just looked at it. 22 or 2,500.
Yeah.
There you go. So Pilot, what have you been doing? I would say, I guess, outside of band lately.
Not much. So did not play as much Hearthstone as I planned this week, just because by the time I got home each day, I was exhausted. So I only played ladder a handful of games, just trying to find what my fourth deck for THL was going to be, because that's been the problem our team has been. It's just like, well, we know we're kind of bringing, Shaman, Hunter, one of the Demon Hunters have been kind of our go-tos, and then whatever we throw in sticks for the fourth deck based on what we think we're going to see. So I played some Wilted Priest, which was doing all right. I played some of the Bubble Aura Paladin, and then as I was looking at what I thought my opponent was going to bring, because I had about a day between when we decided, I saw that Fyrakk Rogue was like 55% into everything that they had brought last week. I'm like, why not?
Ooh.
Who knows? And it worked. I won 3-2 in 6 games because we tied the last game. I was losing. I was going to lose the next turn, and I found a way for both of us to die. So I got a do-over and easily won the rematch. It was
Nice.
nice. This is the second time I've tied this season, which is I'm gonna see how many I can get, apparently, because this has been an interesting season of me deciding, well, I can't win, so I'm not gonna lose. And we've done it. I was in control, and then they had the foam render, whatever the Demon Hunter or Death Knight weapon is, that does a bunch of damage.
Hard
And I'm like, well, I'm dead to this next turn. So I played my Shaladrisil and blew us both up. So that's about it. I did, since we were having this episode, I did decide to venture into Wild a little bit when I played yesterday, and I found a quest priest that I think Blister Guy had posted in Coin Concede a few weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. I got to actually play the quest and win. So it didn't get many games in, but it was working for me with where I am at with my once every year and a half excursion into Wild, other than Nas Day.
Yeah,
Sheep, were you playing Quest Priest for a bit?
He was.
Oh yeah, I love that deck. That was so much fun.
And it's also kind of weird that you tie twice in a season, but which is what's the Doofenshmirtz expression? It's like, it's odd that it happened twice. And I also I get to play Torby Flenderson, the patron of the Bread and Butter podcast, this week, and the THL, and I won in 5 games, but they were hard fork games. They were I'm not happy he brought Protoss Mage, not gonna lie, but we still won, and it was fun. Outside of that, I have really been enjoying the Kona Druid that is in standard right now. I think I started playing it, and Pilot, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I started playing it before many people started playing it.
Yeah, it started to pick up, and I take back all the things that I said at you that night, because then I was very much against not only the deck, but the deck list you were playing, saying, why are you running all these different things? And then the next day it was card for card in the VS list. Yeah, and that felt good. I was wrong.
It is a fun list because it has because you don't rely on one win con. It's basically a location mage. And under Donkey's thing, it's listed as bottom druid. I guess we'll just go with that. But it's you can either win with Owl, or you can win with like big Zilliaxes, or you can win with the drakes that do damage, or Briar Spawn drakes, and you can also find some other ways to win. It's a lot of fun. It's just interesting, and I'm still at like D3, I think, right now. I haven't finished the climb, but I also been playing a lot more Civilization over the last few days. Every once in a while, like I stream every Friday Civ, but I also sometimes get the bug where I'll just play a game over the weekend or 2 games over the weekend, and that kind of takes up a weekend. We were supposed to go to the Yankee Candle Factory, which is in Massachusetts, but we ended up pushing that to next week because of things, and we went and saw the Polar Express. We go every year, and it's an annual tradition. because it's in the theaters and they're supposed to bring hot chocolate when they do the hot chocolate in the movie, and they give the kids cookies and the golden ticket. And it's always so pathetic at how like little effort
Cute.
this theater puts into it. And it's an annual tradition that we go and we complain about how like worse it was than the year before. And we enjoy the movie and then we go home. So that tradition's like no others. But hey,
That's
Shmoop, what have you been
incredible.
doing what have you been doing outside of the game of Hearthstone lately?
Sure. So I started coaching soccer again after a month off. We started back up with our indoor elite session, and it was my responsibility because the main guy couldn't come to sort of help run things in the beginning and then sort of finish it off at the end. And right in the middle of the session, I was doing sprints with 12-year-olds, and I pushed off, and I felt like a twang in the back of my calf, and I went, oh no. Because I'm 37 years old, and when you feel something like that, you wonder if that's it, if you're done. And so I got some ice on it. Luckily, it's only a pull. It's getting better every day. I got to play again Friday. And whip up on some teenagers who come at me, bro. But I couldn't sprint, so I'm a little sore today. But it's doing better. So that's been a big thing. It's just like me hobbling around day one, day two, being like, ooh, I'm a little better, slowly getting better. Today was really cool. My son and I visited my childhood best friend, whom I've known since third grade, at his house, his like childhood house. So like it's like going back. It snowed here, so it was like a snow day, and
Cool.
I hooked up Super Smash Brothers 64 to which my son and I have been playing religiously, basically every day for about 2 months now. He's nasty. He's really good. He's 7 years old. And he can take some games off of me. He's beaten me 63 times at this point. He's been counting.
It's getting there.
He's getting there. He's getting there. He's good at
Nice.
he's good at Pikachu. He's good at DK, and he's surprisingly good at Luigi. He's only played Luigi a couple times, but he's really good on
he
timing.
beat you with Donkey
the OG
Kong?
guys. Oh yeah, he's beaten me with DK. Yeah, 100%. We have monkey offs.
Wow.
We play DK, and he's DK, and also there's 2 level 9
both
computers
DK.
that are DK, and we see who's king of the jungle. It's always me. But I have a unique strategy for dealing with him in monkey mirrors. So yeah, but no, he's like, it was hysterical because like my friends never played him, right? And my friend, but we used to play a lot inebriated, not sober in college. And so like when we got back together and playing, he was way sharper than he was way sharper than me. And so like I'm like, okay, great, sweet. Schmoopy finally gets to play against, my buddy. And so we all got to sit down, and first game he's like, whoa, kid's got game. I'm like, yeah, kid's got game. So that was really cool.
How did you count 63 with when you ran out of toes and fingers?
That's the funny thing. I don't. It's printed on the cartridge. I don't know how to count there. Thankfully, they just gave it to me.
Yeah, as an abstract figure, he understands. As an abstract
there's
figure.
other numbers.
64
out there.
exists.
They're unattainable. They're unattainable. Like I don't. There's not enough digits on my body.
How much is it going to mean to your son when he wins 3 more games?
Not at all. Like it won't matter. It won't matter
4 more.
much. Actually, you know what? That's incorrect.
4.
That's incorrect. Today in the car, he's like, Dad. He's like, Dad, it's 6:07. It's 6:07. I'm like, shut up. No food. So like that
sounds like you.
How do you get through the 6-7? Child abuse.
Hydra,
what have you been up to?
Oh man. Good.
Trust me, my son is going to be 17 soon, and he's saying the 6-7 stuff.
I just
of course. My wife said it.
One added detail I'd like to add, which is like not highlighting me as the best parent, but Sheep said, "Yeah, that sounds like you." So this did trigger today. Today, my son was one-on-one with my buddy, right? And it was like it was a really heated. It was like a really heated mirror, and they're going, and like my buddy finally like does this like really crazy move and like gets him out, and Shmoopy went lucky trash, and he snorted, and I was like, "Oh man, oops, my bad."
He's absorbing via osmosis.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Lucky Trash is in the wild community, the small wild community where we're watching KVLT play. Everybody just says Lucky Trash in his chat because he always seems to have like the perfect talk to perfect like because he plays towards it. So, but anyway, now it's like in the lexicon that like somebody does something like perfectly normal, Lucky Trash. So my bad.
You play to your outs, Lucky Trash.
Played to my outs.
Yeah.
Sorry for Hydra. What were you doing?
I don't even remember. I want to play Smash Bros. No, so outside of Hearthstone, as y'all know, I like to read a lot. But a guy at work, he heard that I liked Stephen King, and he gave me a trilogy of these books they're chonkers. They're like 800 pages each. It's the trilogy is called The Passage by Justin Cronin. I don't know if anyone here has read those. I've never even heard of them. No. But if you like go on the back cover of the book, the review on the back is like the top one is by Stephen King, talking about how amazing this thing is and how like, you read the first 15 pages and you're going to fall in love with it. It sort of sounds like The Stand to me a little bit. It's like a post-apocalyptic world, but that has vampires in it. And I'm like, okay, sure. Post-apocalyptic vampire world that sounds like The Stand, and Stephen King loves it, and there's 3 of them. I will read that. And he lent me the 3 books for free, like just gave them to me. So I'm going to read those. Seems pretty cool. It's going to take me a long time to read them. I don't know why he would give me like 2,400 pages worth of material at the same time. That is going to take a really long time for me to return these books. But yeah, so stoked for that. I have been talking about how I've been trying to finish Mafia 2 for I've been like 2 months, I think, and I finally finished the stupid game. And then I realized that the DLC is like longer than the actual game. And so I've got like 3 DLCs to beat, and it's like another 25 hours. And I'm like, oh my goodness, now I got to beat that. Like, I know Mafia 2's been out since like 2012 or something like that, but I'm trying to make my way through the Mafia games. They're fun. So I thought I was going to be on to Mafia 3.
Little mini Hydra?
Mini Hydra. No, he was born in 2000. My son was born in 2009. Yeah.
All right, so close. All right. Just checking.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Whoa.
And so yeah, I got to do that now. It's funny because I was actually kind of disappointed. I'm like, yes, I've done the game. Wait, there's another 25 hours. Crap. I don't know why I'm complaining. Like, you paid for this. There was more to do. But then the other thing is, so our local mountain. So I live for the listeners of Bread and Butter that do not listen to Born to Be Wild. I live in the greater Vancouver area in British Columbia, Canada. And my son and I, Mini Hydra, we call him, got seasons passes at our local mountain. And it is set to open this coming Saturday. And we're avid snowboarders. So we are looking to start riding as soon as possible, because my son actually at the end of January has a jaw surgery coming up, and he's not going to be able to snowboard after that because they're worried that it'll break or like it's going to be bad. So like we can only snowboard as much as possible between like now and then, and we're going to go almost like every day kind of thing between now and then, because we paid for seasons passes and you gotta make it worth it, right? And we didn't know when his surgery was going to happen, and it's happening sooner than we thought. So yeah, we're just going to be like snowboarding at all times. So Hydra's going to be sore, And Mini Hydra's going to be stoked because he gets to go snowboarding a lot. And I'm just trying to get my money's worth. So I'm just going to be going like they have like the night skiing thing. So there's like lights on all like the chairlift posts and everything. So you can go at night. So we can go after school, after work. We can go on weekends. Nice. So yeah, we'll be doing that as much as possible. But yeah, that's what I've been doing outside the game.
Now, the ultimate parenting move there is you can be like, hey, guess what? I'm going to go snowboarding. You ready? Oh, I'm sorry. You can't go. Well, I'll see you in a few hours.
Or I could, dude, if I'm just tired, I'll take him and he can go up there and I'll play Hearthstone on my phone, like in the lounge. I don't care. Like if he wants to go and I'm just too tuckered out.
No, I meant after when he has a surgery. Then you'd be like, oh, I'll see you. I'm going to go snowboarding.
No, I'll just tell him working overtime, man.
I have
the
a
mountain
board
is
meeting.
so much further than work from your house.
It is
so much further.
I gotta turn off that like track my phone thing to find my phone.
He'll know you're gone because that you're not actually working overtime because he doesn't see your car.
Yeah, I can see it from here basically.
Yeah, no, we have board meetings. What can you do?
Snowboard meetings.
Sheep. Exactly. Sheep, what have you been up to?
Well, for one, this very exciting thing that has not yet been announced, but I'm very excited that for
breaking news
for when it is. Unfortunately, cannot not break it here. But very exciting thing very soon. Been doing the dad thing.
Famous announcement of an announcement.
Been doing the dad thing.
Hearthstone style. It's getting so excited.
Been doing the work thing, and I have been reading a lot as well, Hydra. I've been reading He Who Fights with Monsters. I'm on to book 7 right now. That's one that Dano turned me on to like ages ago. So I've been reading that. There are 12 books, I think, so far. So getting close.
Yeah.
Weren't you on book 4 like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago? You were on like book 4.
Yeah, probably. That sounds about right. And the lamb's birthday is literally 1 week from today. So that's what we call my son, who is turning 3 years old in a week. So excitement abounds there. That's kind of what I've been doing outside of that. There, Stone of Hearths.
How about yourself, Mr. Pylet?
Yeah, got first concert of the season done last week. We had our high school concert that went very, very, very well. So we had this time last year as a very rough concert. So it was kind of nice to learn from my mistakes, as it was my first year in that position last year, going from the elementary up to the high school. So I learned a lot from my mistakes and set them up much, much better. But had a really, really solid concert. And now going on to the chaos that is this week, where we have something every single night. And then hibernating on Saturday. But outside of when I've been doing the band thing and working, been playing a lot of Expedition 33 still. That game is so good. It's so good. It's,
by the way, I looked it up because I listened to the last episode and it looks amazing.
It is so good.
I want to try it.
It's very clear why it took like 8. I think it got nominated for 12 awards at the Game Awards this year and took home 8 of them. It is insane.
On Steam, it has like 100,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews or something. Like it's ridiculous.
It's like sickeningly good, especially for like all the developers had experience at bigger companies, I think, before, but they came together as an indie company. This is the first game that studio has put out together, and it's so good. It is very much worth it, whatever it costs. I'm playing on a Game Pass, so I don't know. I know that it's not normal AAA price. It's a little bit cheaper, but it's worth every penny by and far. I think I'm almost at the end of Act 2, just because I kind of looked up like how it split up. I'm trying to avoid looking at too much just because I'm just trying to play through. I've looked up a little bit with builds just because I'm like, I have no idea what to do with this character and what if or don't know what to do with them. I'm like, give me an idea to get me started so I actually use them. But I think I'm about at the end of Act 2. The story is incredible. I always say that I'm going to play a game and pay attention to the story, and then I get halfway through, I'm just clicking through the dialogue quicker because I want to get to whatever the next actual action thing is, and I'm engrossed in the story. The writing is perfect. It's really, really good. Highly recommend. But yeah,
Cool.
I'm excited. It's getting to a really interesting part. I can feel it.
Oh, sounds so good.
I'm just picturing how long it's going to take me to edit all the crosstalk out of this episode. This is going to be fun. I'm probably not going to get it all. We're gonna.
What do you have to edit out?
I'm sorry. What are you talking about? What is this crosstalk you're talking about? Where do you?
We would do no such thing.
What'd you say?
What are you taking? I'm sorry.
Wait,
Hydra, Tito was... What are you talking about? I couldn't hear you.
I thought Tito said something about
crosstalk. Yeah. Hopscotch. Yeah, okay. Hopscotch is so much fun.
So I I listen to books. I listen to audiobooks as I drive back and forth to work, and I use my Audible credit because I get one Audible credit a month, as you do, and I use it on Fourth Wing because that was the book that we read for our book club, and I recommend not listening to that with children in the room. But
no.
Well, the weird thing about that book is it's like it goes like 500 pages where it's like maybe a little suggestive, but it's fine. And then like page 528, it's like I'm like, oh my goodness, can we
that far in?
Yeah, it was like it was well into the story. And then it's like then finally it was like, oh my God, wait, we're doing this? Okay, fine. But then I wanted to get back to the Tad Williams books I've been listening to. He came back and started doing the second series of the Memory Sour Thorn series, which I listened to as a kid. I read as a kid, whatever. And I was like, well, I don't want to wait until the next thing. And my friend at work was like, hey, with Spotify, you get like 15 hours of an audiobook. So that was great, except I burned through 15 hours and now I'm like halfway through the book because the book's like 32 hours. And now I got to wait till the end of the month for that goes. And then I'm like, well, what do I do with my Audible credit? I'm like, maybe I get the next book so I can just dive into that. But then I'm like, what am I going to listen to now? So, first world problems. But I already talked about most of what I've done outside of Hearthstone before. So, given that we've been here, I don't know, already like a half an hour, this is going to be a really long show, which is great because we have great guests. I wanted to try something different. So we've already interviewed everybody, although Sheep, we haven't interviewed in a long, long time. But Sheep, for those that don't know you, because we just had Hydra and Schmoopy on recently, can you give us like the elevator pitch on who you are?
Yeah, I am ElectricSheepCity. I've been playing the game for a long time. Hitting legend in that there standard, wild, and when there's twist. Been having a blast. Been doing Born to Be Wild alongside Hydra and Schmoopy for a few years now. And generally hanging out in the Hearthstone community. You used to see me on Twitch a lot, but it's streaming and hanging out in folks' streams days are mostly behind me. But when I'm on Twitch, you'll find me in Schmoopy's or May's or Wifey's chats, and those are the places that you'll find me there. So it's been a while since I've been like properly active on Twitch, though. So yeah.
But you can also find you on Discord if you're looking for some input from the sheep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Discord, I'm on very frequently. Discord is kind of stream of consciousness for me, but don't feel afraid to just at me and then I'll see it. And then, yeah.
Fair enough. So one of the things, a little behind baseball, I had the idea of what are we going to do for an interview section or the first section? I was like, hey, what if we play a game? And I had a great idea for a game, or at least I thought it was a great idea for a game, and I think it'll be fine. But then I'm like, before the show, I'm getting the answers from everybody for like their portion of it. I'm like, I'm going to put this all together. We're going to do the show. And then the power goes out. So,
oh no.
Yeah, so we'll do our best. But anyway, so I asked the Born to Be Wild crew a series of questions, and we could see what their answers were. And we're not trying to stir the pot or anything, but it's kind of like a newlywed type game where it's like, well, is everyone kind of in simpatico? Do we kind of like feel the same thing about things, or maybe we have different answers, and maybe we're going to learn something. It's a journey. We're going to learn something about each other here, I think. So,
Perfect.
so the first question I asked was, which Born to Be Wild host is the best Hearthstone player? Now, Hydra, who do you think the best Hearthstone player is here?
I picked Schmoopydady because I believe that Schmoopydady in the last 5 years has probably put in more reps than Sheep or I have put in the last 10 years in the game. I think he's like honestly like pedal to the metal like more than I could imagine. Like he plays this game like a lot. He's got his finger on the pulse when it comes to the wild meta right now, and he's doing an excellent job. He's got his own stream going, and I think he's killing it. So my answer is Schmoopydady. I think he's really doing a great job in this wild community, and I think he right now, I would say it's him. Yeah.
Schmoopy. He makes a lot of good points. Who did you think was the best player on the Born to Be Wild podcast?
I said Sheep probably because right now he has a higher rank than me on NA. And I think combined, if like we went across servers, he'd have a higher rank in general. I think he's just been putting in like higher MMR reps than me. So of the three of us who I actually like, this was a tough one because I know I've played against Hydra in both the Born to Be Wild listeners series and I think on ladder once or twice maybe. But like he's not a slouch. And Sheep is just sharp right now. So I'm going to say Sheep is sharper than I am. So I picked Sheep.
Now, Sheep, why don't you help us break the tie here? Who did you pick for this?
Now, I honestly had to say Hydra. So I think that Hydra is just like I think that Hydra just like
this is so
strolls
gross.
in and just
we're
like
all complimenting each other. Kumbaya. What is this crap?
just like coasts on being like so much better than everyone and not really having to like necessarily learn a deck because he's just that good. And,
thank you, Sheep.
And then whenever he like learns a deck, it's like, oh, and it turns up to like the nth degree. Like it's that incredible to watch that progress because like he can just like pick up a deck and just like with basic fundamentals like just own people just outright, like incredibly. And I think that just speaks to Hydra. I think if Hydra put in the games that Schmoopy does or that I do, then I think that he would be like super high MMR, like absurdly high up there. It's just that he takes it casually and just like wrecks shop and all the time. So I think it's easily Hydra.
Thanks,
okay,
buddy.
so we were not able to come to a consensus there. We had everyone got a vote. That's okay. That's interesting. Very
Through my tie.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sure that won't happen a lot here. Now you guys, while a very informative wild podcast, in fact, I would say you guys are the premier wild podcast out there in the world, if not the only. But you're also kind of a comedic podcast. I think there's a lot of fun to be had. You guys are funny. So my next question was, who do you think the funniest Born to Be Wild host is? So Schmoopydady, who do you think the funniest host is?
I think the shenanigans always start with Sheep. Like I think we have to like we're typically
nice.
Playing off of Sheep's goofiness. Like I have to be careful how I respond to whether or not I have in fact started the recording on Audacity for fear of hi, I'm recording. My name is Sheep. So like I basically like need to start and end with the dad jokes there. So I picked Sheep.
Fantastic, and a very very good choice. Sheep is very funny. But Hydra, who did you think was the funniest?
Mindless self-indulgence. I picked myself. I totally like pick myself as the funniest one on the podcast because I feel like Schmoopydady brings a lot of like meta talk and like that sort of thing. And sometimes I feel like if I don't know what's happening currently in the meta, like what is like, I just will default to comic relief, right? Like I'll just make a joke like this and that. And I'll be like, yeah, that was a good contribution. Like Schmoopydady said something smart, but I said something funny, right? So like, I totally picked myself.
Nice.
No shame.
It's so
no shame.
based.
Totally picked
So
myself.
Good.
And if you don't think you're funny, what are you doing? I mean,
Right?
Dude, I love
Yeah,
the
yeah.
attitude of F you if you don't think I'm funny. I think I'm funny. That's what matters. I love
yes.
that. Full
That's
send
how I
that.
get through as a teacher.
I've frequently said, and Hydra's heard me say this. That joke's for me. Like, it's nice if you think it's funny. Like, no, that joke's for me.
It's
Fair.
amazing.
Well, Sheep, why don't you help us break this tie again, or at least attempt to?
I hope he
Schmoopy
picked himself.
Said you, Hydra said Hydra. So who do you think is the funniest host?
So I think that the funniest host is the one with the sharpest tongue, who just like will take something and like twist it and just make it so much weirder. And so I had to go with Schmoopydady, like obviously.
Weirder. Don't even know her.
I hardly know
Well,
her.
do we have a three-way-
Okay.
We
Do
have
we have
another
a three-way
tie,
tie
but like
again?
That was less kumbaya
So
though,
many of
because Hydra picked
Schmoopydaddy's-
himself.
I picked myself. I totally picked
so
myself.
many of Schmoopydaddy's, like you have to be paying attention to get, like you have to like know the callback from earlier in the episode, or like know like an inside joke. Like those like through lines always get me especially hard too. So like
Phrasing.
yeah. And he made it weird. See what I mean?
Hi, especially
See
hard
what I
on
mean?
Tito.
Case in point. You're making my point for me, dude.
Oh, Tito, that was solid. That
Okay.
was solid, Tito. Well done.
Okay.
Oh, I missed that one. What was that?
I said hi, especially hard on Tito.
Yeah. I can't. I changed my vote to Schmoopydady.
This is not a democracy. You can't change your vote.
Oh, if Tito's saying that isn't the
All right.
bumper to this episode, I will be severely disappointed. All right. All right.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
So
That was-
we started late. We started late because of me, but because of Mother Nature tonight. But I was also curious because having run a podcast for a long time, things don't always go according to plan. So my next question, and Sheep, we'll start with you. Who do you think is most likely to cause the show to start late?
Oh, 100% me. Like, oh yeah. But both of your faces are like, what? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, of course.
Well, I know Hydra. What do you think? Are you always starting late because of Sheep, or?
I picked me. Well, actually, I picked Nate, but then I said
Fair,
Nate originally
fair.
because Nate was ridiculously. We'd start like 2 hours late because it's like, let me finish this art, man. It'll be really cool. We like watch him,
And it
like,
was incredible.
It was. We honestly started the show like 4 hours late.
Yeah.
Because you needed the art to be perfect. But I say me because I am cursed with having, for some reason, every audio setting perfect, but it doesn't work until I restart the computer, and that's the only thing that needed to change. And so often that'll happen, and then we'll start late because like I'll be, doing the OBS stuff, and we can't start unless like when it's my turn, because Sheep and I, we share the privilege or the burden,
Mhm.
however you want to call it,
Both.
of actually broadcasting and editing the show and all that sort of stuff. And just for some reason, I've learned now, if I don't do a restart 2 minutes before the show, it just nothing, all the cords are connected, but it's not working. So a quick restart will do it. I know now, but I've made us start late because of that 24 times, probably, at least.
All right. Well, she picked himself. Hydra picked himself. So Schmoopy, you clearly picked yourself, right?
Well, actually, I said Hydra because of his pizza.
Oh, the pizza! Yes, and the pizza!
Throwing the pizza under the bus.
Though, to be fair, I actually
That's true.
have just asked the cast on Fridays to start half an hour later.
I thought of this
just because I started doing this pickup soccer over the winter. So like, I absolutely have grounds to pick myself.
That's in the future.
I'm also notoriously like
This is past tense.
I am both incredibly prepared and also unprepared. Like I am ready to bring a ton of stuff to the podcast table, and then I have filled out absolutely nothing because of ADHD and just general
It's all in here
divergence
for Schmoopydady. It's just not on paper.
So like the
Executive dysfunction, we get it.
Yeah, the number of times that like I've showed up and been like, oh wait, I still got to do this. Oh wait, I still got to do this. It could be me, but it's Hydra because of his damn pizza.
And to be fair,
That's true.
To be
That's
fair,
true.
you're not at if you've changed when the time is scheduled because of things, that's not making the show late. It's changing the schedule. It's when you say you're going to start at 9:30 and you don't start till 10. That's when you're late. So I think
Agreed.
you're in the clear there.
Pizza.
Agreed.
It's definitely pizza.
All right. Well, Schmoopy, since we're talking to you already, which Born to Be Wild host is most likely to get really tilted in a game of Hearthstone?
Oh God, me. Not necessarily because I get not necessarily because I get mad at playing a good deck and my opponent makes a good play, or it's an unfavorable, or oh man, I lose. It's because I'm playing Open the Way Gates Quest Mage, and it's been sent to me by somebody who has never played a good version of the deck before. So when they break it and add dumb stuff, they have no idea what damage they have wrought. And so, like, I'm sitting there and I'm pissed at the Lore Walker show. I'm pissed at the infinite arcane spells that get pulled by stargazing. I'm pissed that there's no Conjurer's Calling or Altar Time in order for me to somehow find lethal or pull it out of my butt from someplace. And so I'm just like ripping this deck and then quitting it on turn 3 because like, oh, who the hell cares about your viewer points anyway? No, it's me. No, it's me. It's me.
I actually generated I generated 2 Lore Walker shows today in a game when I was playing Quest Hunter versus no minion Demon Hunter. So I was like, oh, I have to take this. So I played 2 Lore Walker shows, and then they played things like what's the one that Paraglide, where you draw 3 cards unless it's outcast, and then that was fun. We lost that game, but we still had a lot of fun frustrating our opponent.
Wonder why.
So I think I won that game.
You lost because you had fun.
Yes. But Sheep, so who do you think gets tilted the most? Or the easiest?
Easily Schmoopy. Like, have you watched his stream? Like, how is this even a question? That like, is there any split in the consensus whatsoever? I highly doubt it.
We'll see. Dude, it's Schmoopydady 100%. Like, there's no question about it. Tilt McGee over here. The reason I say it is, like, what do you expect when you're kind of... So, Schmoopydady does a thing, if you haven't watched his stream, something that Keith Numbers kind of used to do, is like play the viewer decks, right? And some people pick decks like that are just really bad, and these people there could be two reasons they pick you to play their deck. One is they think it's good, and 2, They're absolutely trolling the crap out of you, right? And so on our podcast, I don't know if you've noticed, when there's a
Probably
really bad
50-50.
deck, I tell the audience that they need to make Schmoopydady play it. And
No, stop,
like,
please.
if you have a
Don't do
bad
it to me,
deck,
please.
so wait, I know we're
No,
gonna do
no.
we're gonna do plugs at the end of the show,
Please,
but
no,
what's
please.
your Twitch, Schmoopydady?
No, it's okay.
basically Schmoopydady, he takes on the burden of playing these viewer decks, and how couldn't you get tilted, especially when he does this after his monthly climb, which he usually does in the first couple days, maybe the first day, maybe the first 3 days, whatever, and then he starts doing these viewer decks. And imagine you're a legend and you're supposed to look like you know what you're doing, and you're playing garbage. I'd get tilted too.
I played Linecracker Druid yesterday. I treat my MMR worse than my liver.
Wow.
Oh, so yeah, 3 points, all Schmoopydady. Tilt McGee.
Yeah, no.
There we go.
And so not the final question of the thing, but the final question of this particular round. As podcast hosts we're all podcast hosts. We do podcasts. We talk about Hearthstone. So when new cards come out, we have to kind of give our opinions on them, even though we have no idea what we're talking about. So my question was, who do we think is the best at predicting whether a new card or a package will be good, or who is the worst, or both, basically? So, Hydra, who do you think is the best, and who do you think is the worst at predicting how well a card or a set of packages and a new set is going to be?
So I picked ElectricSheepCity as knowing the best out of the three of us at how a card is going to do. I think he's pretty level-headed. He's got a really good idea of what cards are out there. And I think he's realistic is the big thing of how it's going to impact the meta. So kudos, Sheep. I think you do a good job at that.
Shucks, thank you.
I don't know, on the other side, Schmoopydady, I picked you as the worst. I know you look shocked. You look shocked. But I think it's because Schmoopydady will look at something that, like, so Schmoopydady's so involved in the community where he'll see these memes, he'll see these stuff, and it's like, oh my God, this is gonna break the whole game. And I think that maybe he'll be a little influenced by some crazy stuff or some copium or whatever's going on. So he might have a radical view, which could happen. It could happen. Let's say, like, you got your hand up? You got your hand up?
I want to go after this.
Okay, well, Schmoopy.
Hold on. I got an example. I got. Oh no, that's fine. I was just going to say.
Ahead,
I think that Sheep has this realistic thing, and he's maybe Sheep's mind is not as like in the is like there's some discords out there that they can be a little volatile and stuff like that. I think Schmoopydady's like in there so hard, and there's so many gears turning that maybe he gets it wrong because there's so many people chirping at him. Right? That's all. Not that Schmoopydady. I picked you as best player. Okay, so don't get too offended.
Well, speaking of gears turning, Schmoopydady, what were your thoughts on who is the best at predicting cards and
don't change your
the
answer
worst?
if it was already me.
Oh no, I got my
I have it
answers.
written
Don't worry
down.
about it. I think I am the best at predicting which cards or packages will be good because I
also thought I was the funny one.
attention
So, you know.
to people in the community who are better than me, and I do my homework and my research, and I steal their work relentlessly and just regurgitate that. So I'm obviously going to be right because I follow the hive mind, and I picked furthermore. I picked the worst at predicting. The worst at predicting what cards are going to be good is you, Hydra, because you forget cards exist.
I mean, that's true.
He's like, he'll be like, oh my God, I forgot direct quote, I forgot this card exists. I haven't seen it since 2045. Like, I don't know. That's actually in the future. I'm looking for it in the past.
Hey,
I've seen it
I'm
since
the only
2008.
person that gave Scabs a 5-star rating. The only person. Everyone thought it was bad.
How do you like
The
that
only
broadside,
person.
big guy? Coming after me.
All right. Well, Sheep. We had some interesting takes here. What are your takes on this?
Okay. So first, the worst is clearly Schmoopydady. Like clearly.
Too brute?
Have you listened to some of our reviews? Like you double and triple down on a card being like incredible.
It's so.
And I really want it to be correct, and then I never hear whatever the card's name is again. And you get so hopeful, and nah, man.
What was the
Your mate.
sheep?
Oh, like you
What
haven't
was
had
the
some
name of
stinker
the?
sheep. Oh boy.
What was
All
the
right.
Warlock
of
Legendary
course I
that
have.
Schmoopydady said was the best one? The Warlock Legendary spell that converted like the spell to
That wasn't
the attack
me.
of the.
That was Corbett and Get Me Out. That wasn't me.
Because you
Old man, your memory is going.
Deck of Chaos.
Deck of Chaos. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gave that 5 stars.
I never reviewed that set. All right, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed.
And and I chose the best as Hydra because when given the correct context for a thing, he typically has a good grasp on it. Case in point, he gave Scabs 5 out of 5. Like I can never argue with that.
Fair enough. And
Right on.
my plan to
This is fun.
advance bread and butter in the podcasting by destroying other podcasts from within is now working in full effect.
I see what you're getting at now. You're
Fight,
like, we
fight,
can break
fight,
everybody
fight.
up and we will be number 1.
It's all
Right,
been part
so-
of his dastardly scheme the entire time.
Now the next that's that phase, and that's why we did that first to get the maybe any conflict out. But now we're gonna see how well you know your fellow. Now this is more about how well you know your fellow podcaster. So we're gonna start with we asked several questions, and they were: what was your favorite class, your least favorite class, your favorite deck of all time, card that you always try to make work even though it's not good, card that you would walk to Mordor and throw it into the Mountain Doom, and then deck that you would erase from the history of Hearthstone entirely.
deck.
We'll start
Oops.
with. It's fine. So we'll start with Sheep, but Sheep you'll go last. You'll reveal your answers. So Hydra,
Oh.
what do you think Sheep's favorite classes?
Oh, it's Druid.
Okay, and what do you think his least favorite classes?
I'm gonna say Mage. I'm gonna go Druid for favorite, Mage for least favorite.
How about yourself, Schmoopy?
Oh, for sheep?
Yep.
Oh,
Favorite and least favorite.
Oh, favorite, definitely Druid. Least favorite, I'm gonna guess. I'm trying to think which class has the fewest swarmy aggro decks, but he also does play Hostage and Imbue Mage. So I'm gonna go Warrior.
Ooh.
All right, so
Not
Sheep,
bad.
how close are they?
So favorite class, Druid. I mean, they got it easily. Least favorite class was Warrior. Surprisingly,
Oh, nice. Schmoopydady.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
All right.
It makes sense after Schmoopydady said it out loud. Yeah, made sense.
Mm-hmm. And that was exactly the rationale that got me there too.
All right. So sheep. While you're here, why? What is Hydra's favorite and least favorite cards of classes of all time?
Hydra's favorite class is Rogue, and Hydra's least favorite class is Druid.
Schmoopy.
Rogue Druid. It's not close.
Yeah.
So the guy that likes
I'm
to
an
read
open
books has
book.
been read like a book. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, since you're an open book, what do you think Schmoopydaddy's favorite and least favorite classes?
Oh my gosh. I don't know what his least favorite is, which is the weird thing. And you know what? Schmoopydady plays so many things. He plays a lot of Druid, and he plays a lot of Hostage Mage, and he plays but he loves his Odin Warrior. He goes for Odin Warrior all the time. I'm gonna go Warrior. I get to pick Warrior for favorite, even because he leans on that. He has so many times to just annihilate aggro in that like final push. So I think Warrior is where it's at. I'm gonna say Priest is his least favorite.
Sheep, do you concur?
And I went through the same general thought process. Warrior was the other one that I was debating. But at the end of the day, I went with Mage because I think that Mage has just been such a consistent through line for my buddy Schmoopy. From the Secret Mage of old to the Hostage Mage of today, he's been able to consistently enjoy just spending time with the class. So I think that Schmoopy's favorite class is Mage. And I really wasn't sure what his least favorite class was, and so I put Priest just because like Priest is easy to hate, and well, I mean, who doesn't hate Priest?
Truth.
Yeah, no lies detected. Schmoopy, how close are they?
My favorite class is in fact Mage, because I am apparently a sadist. Unlucky. Learning that about myself. And I actually, for my least favorite class, I picked the class that has consistently, I take screenshots every year of like my win totals, and I post them in Marshy Cord because I'm like, I started doing that a couple years ago, and then I just sort of kept as a through line, just to, like, keep track. And the class that actually grows the slowest of all my other classes is Demon Hunter. I love some decks in Demon Hunter, but I gotta say, like, my Death Knight is almost even with Demon Hunter, which is like spooky because I love Death Knight, and Death Knight was on the short list for a favorite. I'm gonna go Mage and Demon Hunter.
Do you think I'm spooky?
Fair.
Yes.
Yeah. In the best possible way.
Very spooky.
Yes.
All right. So, Schmoopy, let's. So the next question is card they always try to make work, even though no, it's not good. So we're talking like Black Rock and Roll, Rye Cleaver, that kind of thing. So for Hydra and Sheep, what are your answers?
For like the card they're always trying to make work, Sheep is
Always trying to make work.
Yeah, for Sheep it'd be Embiggen. For Hydra, I'd say Swordfish.
Swordfish.
Oh man.
Yeah, Swordfish for Hydra, Embiggen for Sheep.
Sheep, how about yourself for Hydra and Schmoopydaddy?
So for Schmoopydaddy, let's see. I put probably Ignite. I think is the one that I've seen him try and manipulate. I'm not going to say successfully, but I think he's telling me that I'm wrong, and that's okay. But I've seen it happen a fair few times. And so for Hydra, I really wasn't sure. So I went with Patches. Patches is usually good, but like I can see like Hydra like manipulating a deck to make it more aggressive and making Patches more of a thing when a deck doesn't like naturally make it work, and it working to great success. So those are my answers for them.
All right. And Hydra, what are your answers for Sheep and Schmoopydaddy?
Well, Sheep, I think clearly, I think Schmoopydady hit the nail on the head, but I think it's very obvious that Sheep loves Embiggen. And it's never quite there, right? It's good. And I know that Sheep, you try it like all the time. And sometimes, it works. But like maybe it's like the pocket meta you're in and whatnot.
Maybe it's the card.
maybe it's it could be, but I know that or the build around, whatever it is, but it's definitely that it has to be big, and he's absolutely obsessed with it. He's loved it like forever, so that has to be it. I will admit I didn't understand this question at the beginning that I had to answer for everybody. So I don't know what Schmoopydaddy's been in love with that doesn't quite work. I never really thought about that. So I have no idea what would Schmoopydaddy think could be better. I know Schmoopydaddy wishes Reno Lone Ranger was better than it is.
No, what?
You're so
That's a
troll.
joke.
You're so troll. It's incredible how troll you are. I did not expect this.
That was a question I should have asked. Was which host is the biggest troll? But we didn't ask that one.
I thought it was
I
me,
mean,
but
it's
tonight's
me,
probably
but-
Honestly, it's probably Hydra at this point.
All right, so Schmoopy, how close did they come?
My favorite card that I keep trying to make work that I know doesn't work is OG Cthulhu.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Sheep, your
yeah.
Ignite was a great guess. That was a who of respect, not of derision. Because
Okay,
like
cool.
Ignite Mage was like after Sork became Fork and she got nerfed. Ignite Mage was like that, like, how like, you have a few too many and like you have an ex-girlfriend and you want to just like call and like catch up. Like Ignite Mage was that deck for me where I'd have a few too many, and if I wanted to go play Hearthstone, I'd play a bunch of games of Ignite Mage and not do well. And it never, just like that phone call, it never ends well. Like no matter how it turns out, it's just never a good idea. That was me on Ignite Mage with Fork. So that was a good call.
And what is the card that you hate the most, or you would throw into Mount Doom if you could?
We
You
didn't
would
talk
walk
about that yet.
across the Middle Earth.
We didn't do it.
Oh,
We
we
didn't
didn't
do it
talk
yet. Yes.
Okay.
not yet.
No.
I apologize. Okay, sorry. So, oh, that's right, because I asked. Never mind. Sorry. Been a long show already. Sheep. How close did they come?
Oh yeah, it was Embiggen. They nailed it. They know me. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Easy. Yep.
And Hydra, how close did they come for you?
Okay, so I didn't fully understand this question. That I thought that it is the card that I personally have been trying to make work. I do think Swordfish, Schmoopydady, that's a good answer, but I think it has worked. I think that card has had its day and it's done really well. But as I picked, like, honestly, a bad card that they tried to make work, and I picked the card Purify as one of the worst cards ever created. As a card that was, what is that? It's Karazhan, I think. Like it was really, really bad. And then they tried to make the whole Silence Priest thing to like, hey, it's not so bad, right? You like, it's not a big deal. You can silence your minions.
It was still not good.
And it was
still not great.
It's still like, other than maybe Dustfall and Aviana, it's like a tie. I'm not sure, but I picked it as just the worst card ever invented that they tried to make work. Is not my favorite card that I wanted personally to work, just the one that they tried to make work that was awful, and that was Purify. Basically
That's
awful.
fair. Well, I remember I used to like. They had a Purified Priest that was a thing, but it wasn't. Back in then it was fun. But the problem with Purify wasn't that it was a bad card. It was a time when Priest was really struggling, and it was one of the 3 cards they got in the mini set, and it was like the first one revealed, and everyone was up in arms about
Adventure,
it. It was like,
yeah.
It was just like, this is the card we're getting, really? Like this is the cure for Priest? I don't think so. So
It's still
all right,
bad though.
So, That's fair. That's fair. And if you had a
Very
question, you
bad.
could have just asked me. There, Hydra. I would have given you a little bit more explanation on it. We could have had a
Do you think
communication.
it's good?
Just be glad he
Do you
remembered it.
like
No.
it?
No. I meant about the question. You were like, I didn't quite understand the question.
See,
I would have helped you.
I think what happened was he thought he understood the question, but then when we were answering, he realized that he misunderstood the question. Yeah.
All right. So Sheep, what is the card that these two would just really want to get rid of? They want to walk across Middle Earth and drop it in the fires of Mount Doom because they never want to see this card again.
So I may be projecting, but Ice Block for both of them.
All right. Hydra, what do you think for Sheep and Schmoopy?
I think no actual trolling on this one. I'm just gonna throw out Reno Lone Ranger to definitely to Schmoopydady. I think he hates Reno Lone Ranger because it's. I wish this was like, what is your worst hero portrait? Because that's Meatball Patches. But no, we're gonna go with Reno Lone Ranger for Schmoopydady. And I don't hear Sheep curse things a lot. He's too nice of a guy. I'm not saying you're not saying you're not nice, Schmoopydady, but you're just more vocal. Sheep, what do you know what? I'm gonna say Reno Lone Ranger for you too as well, because it's just a jerk card. I hate it. It's not my card, by the way. But I hate that card,
Right,
I feel like other people hate it too.
All right, Schmoopy. Well, he already eliminated one out of the million cards that are still available. So, what are the answers for these two that you have?
I think both of my aggro noob co-hosts hate OG Reno with a burning passion that sits deeper in their psyche than they truly even believe themselves.
Okay, well, how close did they come to your most hated card?
Oh, I hate Reno Lone Ranger. When it came out in the form that it came out in, it was like a card that was 2 years ahead of its time, and I'm still upset that they released it that way.
Fair. How about you, Sheep? How close did they come?
My most hated is Ice Block, but as soon as Hydra said Reno Lone Ranger for Schmoopydady, I knew that was the right answer for Schmoopydady. So I was like, oh yeah, that was his answer. Yep.
Hydra, how close did they come for you?
I liked Sheep's answer of, you said Ice Block, right, Sheep?
Yeah.
It's actually the new Ziliax. I hate that card.
Ah, fair.
I hate it. I hate it so much, and I want it to die. I wish it didn't exist. Like, I'm so angry at it. Like, I'd rather see Ice Block than that stupid card. Yeah.
I want to say
much
that
I hate it.
since you didn't understand the previous question, you truly got the essence of this question.
Very yes.
All right. So our final question, and then we're going to move on to the news. Not that we've been here for like 2 hours or whatever it has been. Hydra, what is the deck that your co-host would erase from Hearthstone entirely if they could? Like, they never want to see this deck again. This is the worst deck ever. This is...
See, like I said from the beginning, I thought I was answering my own at the beginning. I know mine. Oh, I know mine. I'll tell you. You guys probably know it. So I didn't put so much thought into what these other guys are really, really angry about. Like, I get tilted. What does I'm gonna look into your eyes, Schmoopydady. Look at me.
All right. Well, we'll let you stew on that for a minute. Schmoopy, why don't you give us their answers for Hydra and Sheep?
I think Hydra hates Hostage Mage. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I think he hates Hostage Mage, and I think Sheep also hates Hostage Mage.
Sheep, what are your answers?
So I think that Hydra hates Hostage Mage, and I think that Schmoopy hates, and I quote unquote, burn decks. I think that Schmoopy hates burn decks.
Oh my God.
Or is it burst decks?
Don't. How? Oh my.
Funnel cake?
Get your funnel cakes here. Hydra, do you have an answer? Cool, you could just kind of cheese it and say hostage mage for both of them.
Well, no, because Schmoopydady loves hostage mage. He's a hostage mage enjoyer. He's an abuser with
I
hostage
understand
mage.
it's messed up though. Like if they got rid of it, I don't understand. Within their rights, just like Ignite Mage.
So, that's why I didn't pick it for you. But I like I could side with that for sheep for hostage mage. But I don't know what like really grinds your gears. Like, cause you play anything and everything. That's the kind of thing is like, you're kind of like okay with so much stuff.
It's like in that that
Let's say,
Brooklyn
what would
Nine-Nine.
you hate the most? Like Questline Warlock.
It's like that was it Brooklyn 911 where it's like he says you can kick me, you can bite me, you can punch me, you can put me on fire, and he's like, oh well, what if something's not on that list? It's like, oh, I see, you really want to get into it. So Hydra, what were your answer? What was your answer? What is the deck you would like to see burned, removed, deleted?
Oh, for me? Oh man, I hate hostage mage. It can go die.
Yeah, I knew it for you. Yeah.
Fair, fair.
Sheep, how about you?
For me, honestly, there's nothing that tilts me more than Linecracker Druid.
Oh.
Yeah, seeing all that armor, it gets me.
Yeah, but it's
hardly know
not
her.
there that much. So it's like it's just must be so rare that you're like, nuts.
I mean, it's largely been yeeted into the sun, but like, yeet it further, destroy it with fire, kill it all the way.
And Schmoopy?
Yeah, I read this as card a second time and not deck. So I wrote Reno effing Lone Ranger. So my bad on that. If I were to pick now, off the top of my head, I think I usually I'm gonna have to say Nazmani Priest just because I do not like you know what? No, I'm changing my answer or on the fly again. Charge Druid. I hated Charge Druid. I don't know what it was about Charge Druid that annoyed the crap out of me, but it did. It was like 20% of the meta. It very much reduced the variety of what I could conceivably win with when I was streaming. Because you either had like the rat to and then answer to take out the Dorian or not, and if you didn't, you just flip and died. And I hated playing against that deck almost as much as like I think that's more than Holy Wrath. Holy Wrath I hated too, but that for 1,000% more.
All right, well, that was the wrap up of this segment. So I want to declare the winner was everybody because there was really no points. It didn't matter. It was just like we see how well we knew our co-hosts and whatnot. So thank you for indulging and letting us know. I think we all learned a little something about each other. But I have a temporary.
Now I'm gonna have to
up.
go back and like tally it. Like, come on, Tito.
I want to fight Hydra.
All right, well then Sheep won. Hydra
agreed
lost.
with
okay,
me.
There we go. There you go. Sheep won, Hydra lost.
I don't know why, but I'm gonna take it. Thank you. I would like to thank Bread and Butter podcast for having me, particularly Tito for making this adjudication.
Yeah, I'm the Drew Carey of the show right now. But anyway, it's time to move on to the next segment.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Pylet, do we have any news this week?
We do have some news. So we have 2 bits of news that came out in the past week. We got our first or another balance patch, 34.2.2, where we had all buffs for standard. So just kind of going through those quickly. This came out on Friday. So we have a buff to Cardboard Golem, making it a 3-mana 3/3 instead of a 4-mana 4/4. I want to shout out that I called that before the set came out, that I thought that that's something that they should have done because there were way too many 4-drops in that deck. So this is one of the few good, review things that I said after saying that Zerg was going to be terrible and unplayable. You don't always hit. Divine Augur is the priest new card that sets the attack and health of every minion in your hand to the higher of the 2 stats. They changed that from a 5-mana 5/5 to a 4-mana 4/5. And as well, also buff Power Word Barrier, which is the give a character Divine Shield, give minions in your hand +2 health. That is now 1 mana instead of 2, so a little bit hand buff pre-support. No Minion Demon Hunter got some buffs. Eternal Hold, the location, went from get a demon to discover any demon that costs 5 or more. So I'm assuming since it says any, it can still go across classes, but now you're at least choosing what you're getting. And then it still has the text if your deck has no minions, your next one costs 0. And then Solitude, which was already one of the best cards in that deck. They made it a little bit better. It was 2 mana discover a minion. Now it's 3 mana discover 2 minions. And if your deck has no minions, reduce the cost of any in your hand by 2. Druid got a couple of buffs as well. Highborn Mentor went from 8 mana to 7. That's one that you get a 2/2 pupil and discover a spell that costs 7 or more from the past teach it. And then also
Pylet. You don't have to explain that card. We revealed that card, and everyone here has been listening, and they knew that card.
We did, but it's been like 2 months since we revealed it, and that's the most that has been talked about since then. So we'll give a refresher.
Not a bad point, Pylet.
So I do think 7 mana is a much better spot. 7 to 8 mana, especially in Druid, seems like a very important breakpoint. Always has been, feels like. So that kind of puts it in a much better spot with ramp. Kaldori Cultivator, old 3 mana 3/4, now it's a 2 mana 2/3. That is the discover 2 beasts and put them in the bottom of your deck with +5/+5. Time Looper Toki was starting to see some experimentation before the patch. And it went to a 3 mana 3/3, get 3 random spells from the past, and if you play all of them, you get another Time Looper Toki. And then Rafam got 3 different Rafams buffed. The 1-cost one is now a draw and death, or Battlecry and Death Rattle to draw a Rafam. The 2-cost green Rafam gives Rafams in hand and battlefield +2/+2. That should say other. It currently functions with other, but it does not say other. They're going to fix it. So it will not buff itself. It is not a 2 mana 4/4. But it'll buff your other Rafams on the board and in your hand. It's a visual text bug. It works like it's supposed to. And then the 5-cost gain 5 armor is now if you're holding another Rafam, you gain 5 more rather than controlling another Rafam. So lots of buffs to stuff that hasn't been seeing a whole lot of play, or at least worthwhile experimentation. I know people keep trying them and it hasn't quite been there, so they're trying to give it a little bit more gas, while also they did acknowledge in the patch notes, trying to see where this is at, standard metagame feels like it's in a good stable spot, which is where they wanted it heading into World Championships and the winter break. So they did not want to nerf anything yet, but they wanted to give some buffs. They have noticed discussions about strong decks making waves, namely Discover Hunter and Hagatha Shaman. While they're popular at certain ranks, our metrics show their power and patterns aren't at a level that calls for changes at this time, and they'll keep a close eye on it. So that I find interesting. I know they are very powerful decks, but I have noticed over the past week they were starting to settle down. I think some counters are rising up. It just kind of depends on where you're at in ladder. I know Discover Hunter was taking over top 1K and then was getting countered pretty heavily. And then Shaman has been really popular across the rest of the ladder, but I feel like that has found a few more counters. Whether people are playing them might be a different question, but I know only from playing THL, I've noticed the Shaman has taken a major hit in THL to where I think in Pro it's under a 50% win rate right now, just because it's a more targetable of the 2 top decks.
So I really think that the meta, I agree. Like, you may not like the meta because you don't like the decks in the meta, but it is pretty balanced and it is pretty diverse. Like, I don't feel like you're seeing a lot of the same decks all the time. But I have a question for our guests here. The last 3 sets haven't really hit in standard. It's been kind of like that's been the story of 2025. It's been like the year that wasn't. Every time we've gotten a set, they're like, "Oh, we're still playing Zerg, we're still playing Starships, we're still playing whatever." Have these sets or these cards or anything had an effect on Wild? Because I'm assuming that if it has this little effect on Standard, it's got to be kind of dead in Wild. Or am I wrong? Are there some things there that are really kind of helping out Wild?
100% incorrect, and I'm going to let Schmoopydady explain why, because he has like this down to a T, like exactly why. Because we get tools, and I just want to hear Schmoopydady's like almost scripted at this point answer for this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we usually have so many additional synergies in Wild that usually something works. The StarCraft mini set was like super balanced for Wild, and actually kind of funny because for something that people would say is, oh, this is going to be parasitic. When are we ever going to get like StarCraft cards ever printed again? When are they ever going to have support? But there are some funny like little synergies. Like Hunter basically overnight became like a Reno Hunter or some sort of dupes like duplicate Zerg Hunter became kind of tier 1 overnight just because Zerglings being real swarmy. We have weird stuff like Acid Maw in our format where if an enemy minion takes damage, it dies. Like, you just sort of would go super swarmy and then had like little synergies just bouncing off of them. Usually sets come in and they do change Wild somehow. Not always how we'd expect them to, and it's never as many cards as we expect to, but there is always a change. Cursed Catacombs absolutely changed Wild. It gave us a dominant aggro deck in Discard Warlock. Lightspeed not being printed with Echo not only killed Radiant Elemental, which was a pattern, a favorite card in Wild, but also now has given us a tier 1 deck that we can't get rid of unless Blizzard does something to get rid of it.
Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard. No, I mean, like, Nazmani Priest is annoying. We've had worse overlords than Nazmani Priest, but it's consistently an issue. But yeah, no, like Wild absolutely changes from standard cards. Usually not like usually because we have like we just need support pieces, and the right support piece changes everything. Right now, wave shaping is crazy. This last set, the warrior cards are nuts. We've got like three decks, and we got 3 decks in Wild right now that are basically popped up because of the new warrior cards, which I don't know if they're doing anything in standard or not, but just they're insane. So yeah, I don't know. Hydra, what do you think?
I think that mostly the StarCraft set, like for sure, was the biggest impact. Like there's no way it wasn't. And then I have some feelings about that set, just because it was brought in as overpowered, and a lot of us love StarCraft. My name online is Hydralisk, obviously, and a lot of us try to get the signatures and the gold cards and everything, and it was overpowered, quote unquote, and then kind of nerfed to the ground, a lot of it, but major impact. I think that was one of the biggest impacts we've seen in Wild as a whole. But yeah, it's usually only a couple. Like we pick and choose, and that's the best thing about playing Wild, is that even if a set doesn't hit, there's gonna be 1 or 2 cards that do, that you can try out. And that's my favorite part about the format, is once you've been playing the game for so long, you have most of the cards. And if there's a new legendary that maybe enables like an old archetype or a new one, you just need that one card, right? And so I think that that's really cool. But StarCraft, definitely, like that's the biggest one that I can think of that has happened in the longest time, that has really hit Wild.
I'm loving this because I was specifically asking for the last year of 3 sets, and you guys both went to 2024 of the StarCraft set and completely skipped over the last 3 sets. So I think you kind of answered the question.
But the last year we've also kind of just had pieces, like no matter what, we have at least a piece. It's kind of seemed like a piece has found like a way to impact Wild. Like Garona I would never have thought that would have made such an impact, but it has. For example, Cursed Catacombs, these are some of the more recent examples. But I mean, StarCraft was the most obvious one, right? Like the 2024, like before that, for sure.
Garona's cool because we don't even play Garona for Garona's actual effect, really. Right?
Oh,
like
no. Oh, goodness, no. Yeah.
Like it sometimes it just works, but like there's so many. We played it for what do we call it? Salad dressing? Is that what we call it, Schmoopydady?
Yeah, we play salad dressing.
Salad dressing. But yeah, we play salad dressing, right? That's the reason. We corrupt salad dressing.
I like the fact that you can tell that Schmoopydady is involved in education because as people are talking, he raises his hand to try to I want to say something.
I love it. I love it. He does it. He's a teacher, right? It's great.
I wanted to wait for a clean part to make my point. So while we've had individual cards make impacts in Wild, I think the most frustrating part and where we feel the low power level of the sets the most is the cards you guys in Standard get nerfed just because they're good cards, and God forbid we have good cards like Ethereal Oracle. I will never forgive you guys for Ethereal Oracle. It was so cool. It enabled so many really cool, neat decks in Wild, and Standard players are frothing about deleting it from the fact it represents Hearthstone the way it shouldn't be done. It does too much, and it's just my God, you guys are playing with the level of card that you're playing with in Standard over those stats.
Checkers while we're playing chess.
No, it's just the level, the power level was so low and so bad and so boring that these mundane or just very good cards, God forbid a card is very good, it's too good for Standard at this time. It's insane to watch from my perspective, which I understand is different than Standard Dust Fiends that are constantly chasing the next pile to get them to the next tier 1 deck. Maybe this one will do it. I just that has been incredible to me. It's watching this sort of broad hysteria of wow, everything sucks so much that the things that are even decent get amplified to a crazy extent in Standard. So I actually welcome the balance patch we just got, because no nerfs, all buffs. I think they should do that more often than the other way around, even if that's not necessarily popular with the community that wants to see a bunch of things nerfed so they can get dust, they can just start the crazy cycle over again. But I this is actually more encouraging than anything.
I kind of agree with you. It's I like Ethereal Oracle was a fine card. I was playing Asteroid Shaman at the time, so I was kind of biased. But at the same point, it's just a lot of times when they find balance, they just kill decks, and they've had stretches where they weren't doing that. But I don't want to see if people are playing decks and they're fun, I just want to see them brought in line. I don't want to see them killed. And a lot of times, what they have to do is oh, this is at a 30% play rate, and even the win rate could be whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the way it feels to play against and the complaints and all that. So I agree with you. I don't think we need to nerf as much as we do, but at the same time, it's it's not easy for the balance team to kind of pull things in and find because you look at you guys don't pay attention to Standard, but they nerfed a few cards about a year ago, and we ended up with what was the hunter, the demon hunter with the demon that summoned the demons.
That's very specific.
Shopper demon. We had Shopper
Shopkeeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
They nerfed a bunch of things, and then Shopper was the deck that was dominating the meta, because when you nerfed everything, that was what was left.
That was most of last year, though, to where everything cycled back around. We went from hand buff Paladin being the top deck, and by the time we finished that expansion with all the nerfs, hand buff was the best deck again. It just dropped everything.
Yep. and it might have been the best deck all along. It's just that when they make nerfs, people stop playing the things, and then
Also
true. And that's the thing, to where I've been on the soapbox before, and it's come up enough. I'm going to go on the soapbox again, to where for the first 2 sets of this year, people are all up in arms that we got packages, we got Imbue, we got quests, to where you had to build the sets around those with those mechanics because they were so specific, and you need that. Now we get a set that doesn't have that for 85% of the cards, to where Aura Paladin and the Dragon Mage are pretty much the only ones where you have a very strict package that you kind of want to run. Everything else was just generic cards. And now we don't see any new archetypes because they're just good, decent cards that you throw in the stuff that was already good. It's like what these guys are talking about for a while. You find the good cards, you put them in the archetypes that are already good. These are the things that people want for and that ask for, and then when it happens, oh, we have no new decks to play. It's the same stuff we've been playing for a year because you got what you wanted.
The cooking
Well,
takes
and
time.
I agree with you
The
on
cooking
that.
takes time. This set is a cook
does.
set. Like,
Yeah.
this tech is going to take
It is.
time to fully explore, and I still don't think we're done with it. I'm sorry, Tito.
I don't either.
No, I agree with you, Pylet. The problem is that like I like this set. I'm not.
I do
like,
too.
I've enjoyed the set. The problem is that we didn't have any mix up. We haven't had new decks in a year in standard. That's in wild. That's fine, right? Or fine-ish, because maybe I'm wrong, but like if you're always, that's part of wild, is you can play the same decks forever, or in theory you're supposed to be able to play the decks that you loved or whatever.
It
But
sticks
in,
around. Stuff sticks
in
around.
standard,
Not always top tier, but
Mhm.
sticks
but in
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
But in standard, if we had any new decks or enough new decks to inhibit change over the first two sets, then having a third set that kind of modified those decks a little bit, or maybe made them better or whatever, and maybe you got one or two new decks, that would have been fine. Except it feels like we were still playing, like we're still seeing Protoss Mage, Protoss Priest, Leech DK, like things haven't changed at all.
Protoss
So
yeah, so much leech DK.
So I agree with you. Like I think that I like the set. I think that it would have been fine if we just got new cards like this, like it was. But it's coming on top of so little
Yes.
change over the last year. That's where the problem is. It's not that this set is exactly what I would want from sets in general, but I think it's just we have so little change over the last year. That's where people get frustrated.
Agreed.
Especially content creators, who we hear from the most, because they're the ones that are on making content and they're like, boy, this sucks, I keep playing the same thing. And then they're
And that's what you do, because that's what they're doing too, right? Like,
Yep.
that's where you get your information from. So,
Right. So-
I actually feel like it inhibits creation, right, or your imagination to build your own thing when you are just sort of watching what the top content creators are doing. I always look back to when the original Finja Force 5, like do you remember that, the Fish Rogue Finja Force? We're not talking Swordfish Rogue, the original Fish Rogue. When that came out, it was like the last 2 weeks before it rotated or something. It was crazy that people finally figured out that Finja was a good card. And it's because no one was doing it. Someone figured it out, and it was late in like an expansion cycle, and that was really cool. But it's like, unfortunately, I'm a net decker. I do it too. I play what the top streamers are playing, or what's on HS Guru, what's on HS Replay. But there are other people that like to innovate, and I praise all the people that like to do that, because just because these are the top 3 decks or whatever doesn't mean you can't try to figure out what's better or what can beat it.
Bingo.
And there are people out there that do it.
It's for me, it's been fun because this entire series, this entire set, right off the beginning, I streamed all day on the first day, and I was getting credit for decks that I was playing, and I invented some things, but I borrowed some things and all that. But it was really kind of cool to be like, hey, like the first person to play these decks on stream was me. And then just recently with the Bubble Paladin, I started playing Bubble Paladin because I'm like, oh, what if we did Bubble Paladin and we took really advantage of this and played, because I really wanted to play shiny packaging, whatever it's called, the
Fancy
one that
packaging.
gives divine fancy packaging. And I want to play that card, and I want to play, what if we did this? And I started playing some versions, and other people were starting to do the same thing, but I was being credited with it. Like, people would come like, Tito, are you the inventor of Bubble Paladin? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I have no idea. I was playing it. And it's just, it's fun to have that innovation, and it's fun to have the space to kind of create the innovation. And even if decks don't work well, all you have to do is you work it well for one session, and then you can kind of promote it and get other people to try and fail at your deck and maybe even refine it and make it better. So it's a lot of fun. But it's got to be different in the wild community, right? Like what is it like for you guys when a set comes out? Like day one set releases, what is wild doing?
Half of it is 0 new cards. 0 new
Yeah.
cards, run your old deck. Some
like
people don't got
standard.
money. Some people don't got money. Some people just like they're gonna play their deck. But you know what? I'm always okay with this. I know so many people who get so salty. It's the first day. There's no new cards. I just want to play like. It's like, dude, like if it's gonna be good, it's gotta try to be good against the old stuff. That's it. And like, you know, maybe they're poor. Shut up. So I
Also,
that's usually what it
capitalize
is.
on people trying the new thing and play the old stuff. So like if you want to rank up,
100%
right?
bully people. Yes.
Sorry, but yeah, why not?
But have you ever seen the opposite where it's like it's day one and all of a sudden like there's the new deck that's just dominating and
Stormwind.
running things?
Oh yeah,
Stormwind.
Golly Bob
Schmoopydady
howdy,
has-
I am undead.
Schmoopydady has nightmares about Stormwind.
Stormwind. I was so happy that my questline druid was working. My odd questline druid was the nuts. It was working, and that was a bad sign. That was a bad sign that like something that I cooked was working day one. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that deck was cracked.
Yeah, Stormwind was
Pilot,
spooky.
why don't we this has already been a long show.
Yes. We'll wrap
So let's
up the
move into
news
our
here.
final topic here.
But
We get news.
yes,
That's right.
we do have
There's
more
news.
Sorry. Yes, there is more news. It's short news. But I do want to, off of what
Is it
I
about
think
me?
Tito had mentioned, I do agree with their, as far as win rate, which seems what they are basing their balance on right now. There are 17 decks since in the last 3 days on HS Replay that are 50% and above. 17 archetypes, and then 5
Nice.
that are 49% or higher. That's a lot of options. They're just not new options. Play rate is a different story. Play rate is where we get into a whole different conversation, to where there are a few outliers there, but if counters rise up, then those always fall. It just takes people innovating. But our other bit of news, we did get all the details for Worlds. Worlds is the end of this week. So Thursday through Sunday, December 18th through the 21st, it is split across 4 days, starting at 7 a.m. Pacific Blizzard time. Convert that to whatever it is for you. So day 1 and 2 are groups. Day 3 is the elimination and decider matches for all the groups, and then day 4 is quarterfinal through the grand final. There will be 2 packs per day that you can get for watching the stream, and the choose your champion is also being done for this as well. You can find that the main streams on Twitch and YouTube, and there will be co-streamers as well. So all of that is on the Hearthstone website as well, and I don't think that there's any major known issues other than there's a really funny one based on I think it was Schmoopy's reaction to New Ziliax, is it currently has a bug to where if you put avatar form, the Shaman Fabled on it, it does not work with lifesteal, so you can nerf your own card.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No, my reaction was to Solitude, because they said that they buffed Solitude and they didn't. They nerfed it by a mana by making it more expensive. It actually looks like a kind of cracked future discount engine in Demon Hunter, because they also have we have cards that pull minions out of our deck, like Tutorum specifically. And so you just play a deck with very few minions, like 3 or 4, and then you do stuff like Naval Mine DH, where you're dealing, I forget if it's like 58 or whatever damage on turn 7, where with 7 mana. I mean, I've got clips. I've had it done to me and done it to other people. It's a terrible deck. It's a terrible deck, but like that was the one thing that like, oh no, they're gonna buff Solitude. They're gonna buff Solitude. This is it, chat. It's gonna be the nuts. And like the Eternal Hold, that's getting buffed too. And meanwhile, you know, we in the creator Discord get a little bit of a peeksy poo on what's it's gonna be. And I'm like, wow, these are both nerfs. Unlucky. So but yeah, that just they crushed. I was watching my friends' hopes and dreams rise and fall with that nerf. So unlucky.
I actually, so just before we move on, I had a question I meant to ask earlier. Like we were talking about how a card might like be a piece or anything like that. When I saw a Kona Druid initially, my initial thought was like, "Hey, this is going to be really good and wild because you can mix it with dredge and all that." Has that made is that something that's kind of happened or?
No, and I think in part it's because Reno Druid has like it's been okay, but it already has like a lot of toys and things that it can do. And right now they're not even looking at that. Reno Druid, I think, is the one Druid deck that could make the best use of it. That's where I pegged that it would be very good, and especially because we have again Sir Finley of the Depths, we have Spinley, so like we can just like discount a bunch of stuff and then go get it. Hasn't panned out yet. I'm not like it's a slow burn. It wouldn't shock me if it's good in the future. Like it looks like a kind of card too, where you could drill through your whole deck, shuffle a bunch of stuff in that you want to get discounted, discount it, and then go get it because you're Druid and you have infinite mana. So like, not yet, but I'm not going to be surprised if in the future it is. What do you think, Sheep?
I think that agreed on all points. I think that the card that has kind of stood out is one that is part of that package. And you touched on this card, Schmoopy, like myriad times, and that was the wave shaping, I think is what it was called. And we just weave that in, like A, it's draw, B, if we just have like aquatic form, we get it and it's cheaper and it's easier to get out and we know exactly what we're going to get and so it's kind of like one of those like tangential pieces that for us is just cracked, but the main piece is like whatever, we can take it or leave it. But wave shaping is the one that's just incredible.
Yeah, and ironically, in Druid right now, there are several decks that have pieces you do not want to draw. So wave shaping is not only like tutoring a piece that you want, but it feels really good when you high roll and you put like patches down at the bottom of your deck. Not actual patches, it's a bad example, but like Barnes Druid basically runs 2 minions because you really want Barnes to pull your sail so that all of a sudden you have infinite mana and everything goes. But if you draw your sail, game's over, bro. So like when you see your sail in the wave shaping and you know you're not going to draw it, you're like, woohoo! So like that's another extra feel good factor that we have. Like, why do they give Druid tracking? It seems so stupid to me. Whatever.
And like better tracking too.
Better tracking. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
I was looking back. I'm like, is that one of the cards we revealed? But no, I was thinking of
Isn't it?
Flow. Is it? No, we did.
We discussed it because I know I said that
we
card
discussed
is
it.
disgustingly good. Like that card is bonkers. And it's just
nailed it.
Yeah, it's inoffensive. Like it's just a really good card.
It's okay. We're allowed to have good cards.
No, we did.
Yes,
right.
We did
It's
Endangered
okay.
Dodo.
We are.
We did Endangered Dodo, which is in fact endangered. We did Druid of Regrowth, which I don't think I've heard of since then. We did Ebb and Flow, we did Highborn Mentor, and then we did Ultimate Reality, which has never panned out.
No.
So
Ebb and Flow is good.
Oh well. Ebb and Flow I use all the time. So that's a really, really, and that was the one that everyone was like, yep, this is just a solid card. It wasn't interesting, it wasn't exciting, it was just a solid card. And that's okay. We're allowed to have good cards, right, Schmoopy?
We're allowed to have good cards. Game's boring without good cards.
Right.
So, Pylet, what's our main topic?
Believe it or not, we're going to talk about Wild. So
Wild.
So, I'm going to take a backseat quite a bit because I know out of the 5 of us, I play the least Wild. My longest excursion was when they made Mech Mage in Sunken City, and I went and played the really broken one with Mecha Shark and all the discounts and everything.
Thank you guys. These are just giving me PTSD.
I went on, I think that's still my record win streak. I went on like a 27 game win streak or something like that because I hadn't played Wild before, so I was just running through the ranks.
Nice.
That's about it.
Because I play Wild. Because I play Wild.
That's actually
because I play Wild.
That is actually a good thought of why, if you're a standard player, if you're a Legend standard player and you want to feel really good about yourself, go with your crap MMR into Wild, and you're going to play really well for a while, and you're going to be like, wow, I just took Totem Shaman for like 23-2. I must be really good at Wild. If you're not, your MMR just isn't non-existent yet, and you blew through a bunch of people playing weird decks.
Yeah.
But,
then I started running into
it'll make you
cards
feel
that I
good for a
hadn't
while.
seen before. Just because I wasn't playing the game when those were in standard. So
The first time
go ahead, Tito.
the first time I went into Wild recently, like I hadn't played Wild in a while, and I played like 3 games for Norse Dormo, I believe. And the very first deck I played against was a Warlock, and they played every friggin' card I've hated from standard. Like they were playing Theatar, they were playing Reno, they were playing. It was just like it was like the greatest hits of cards.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like
right.
the greatest hits of cards you hated.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, yep, no, I'm done. I'm
Altar
good.
of Fire.
But
He's got 3 best cards. Unlucky.
but it was like every time they played it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this card. I hated this card. Okay, great, sure. But
So it seems like from what I've heard, and especially from you three, the State of Wild is pretty solid right now. It's in a good spot.
Yeah.
So what's the State of Wild? What's the meta like? Things like that.
Should I? It's
Sorry,
okay.
Hydra.
Oh, Hydra.
Schmoopy. No, I'll give you the full. I will start off saying that the State of Wild has been awful in the past. Like it really has. Like where we've been facing the same thing over and over again. It's Dark Glare Warlock. It's Secret Mage. It's like we're gonna go back a ways, but it's Pirate Warrior, and it's just like this is just all you're gonna see. It's probably the most diverse that I've seen it ever, really. Like I think at this point in time in Wild, you can, I know they say that you can play your old archetypes. You can't really. Like some of them are garbo. but I think that we're at a stage that you really can experiment with a lot more. And I think the meta is extremely diverse, like a lot more than it has been in a long time. I mean, yes, there are. I will, if there was someone in the room right now that was playing Hostage Mage against me, like my computer was here and their computer was there, I might reach over the monitor and just give them a little bonk in the nose, just like.
It's Canadian. That's how they say hi when they play hockey.
That's how we say hi. It's hockey. It's hockey etiquette, right? My elbows up.
You gotta say bonk, eh? Bonk, eh?
Yeah, but I think that it's in a really good spot. It's a lot better than it has been in the past. Schmoopydady, if you want to give us a bit of a breakdown, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, sure. I think since they made the most recent nerfs, so to kind of reference what you were talking about earlier in the show, Tito, about how the new sets came out and things sort of stayed in a stasis for standard and only old stuff was being played. To a certain extent, that was true in Wild, except we were in like a really good spot. There was a lot of diversity. There was a lot of different decks being played. It was noteworthy if one deck got pushed over another. And then Curse of Catacombs was printed, and that really pushed Discard Warlock, which in general, as an aggro archetype, when it's good, it tends to dominate other aggro decks and kind of pushed out a lot of diversity. And the deck was still the meta was still okay. But since they made the nerfs to Malchezaar's Imp and they got rid of Holy Wrath Paladin, which was a really bad deck to play against because haha, my 2 funny cards, you lose. You felt like you were winning the entire game until your opponent played their 2 funny cards and you lost. I know, sorry you enjoyed that deck, Tito, but it had to go. All right, the way of my Ignite Mage.
Well, no. To be fair, I enjoyed the deck before Ceaseless Expanse was his thing. I enjoyed it when it was just a good old 25 mana guy.
And I was actually okay with Holy Wrath keeping its text, except making sure it was only Paladin cards that if you drew dealt damage. So that would give us the 25, but they just took it out back and shot it because they were just like, you know what, we never want to have to deal with this thing ever again. And so they future-proofed it. Sweet.
Kind of. They don't have to ever deal with it again.
There is a silly combo you can still do it, but you're shooting a minion instead of the opponent, and the minion deals the damage to the hero. You can do it, but it's like.
Oh wait, is it Party Crasher?
No, Soulbound Ash Tongue. from Outlands.
Party Crusher was the card I vaguely remember.
This is an ancient combo. You Silas over the
so
Soulbound Ash Tongue, and then you shoot it with Holy Wrath, but you also have to tee up the Seals. There's a lot of moving parts. Basically, if you lose to this card now, you're an idiot. So like that's
been done.
That's fine. That's fine. It's been done. You can do it, but it's much harder to do. The Wild's gone back to
Luckily, I don't think any of our listeners really play Wild. It's only your listeners, so I don't feel like you've insulted anybody from that listen to our show. So we're good.
Yeah, perfect. But by and large now, the meta is so varied that we even have some tier 1 decks possibly that are sleeping in the wings. Things like Warsong Warrior, which is a pretty affordable deck. It's pretty close to Dust Point. I did like make it on one of my free to play accounts, but it's hard to pilot. Treant Druid looks insane now that more than 2 people and a cat have been playing it on ladder. The cat was just stepping on the keyboard and queuing up games. That person's pissed their rank is dropping.
That's what happened to Marty.
Yeah,
I haven't been following his rank, but
so Pylet, that's the deck you need to play.
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's kind of complicated with how many like. I've never played an aggro deck that had so many decisions built around what did you mulligan, what choices do you have, when are you using your mana cheat, when do you want to draw your cards, how much do you tempo, what are the clears your opponent has, what are the breakpoints. Like I doing the guide on it, which I was mostly, again, big help to my friend Galate from my community. She plays it up in like the top 10 range in EU frequently, and so she's basically writing down all of her thoughts, and I'm just reading her thoughts and just sort of adding my antidote. So that's my side thoughts as far as like that's what the guide is. It's from somebody who's really, really talented, which I try to do. No one's playing this deck, and it's super cheap, and you got to give it a try because like it's really fun and really amazing, and the miracle turns are awesome. But there's other things like we've got new decks like plus 125 Warrior, which do you guys remember Lava Gorger?
Hates it.
From Sunken City, like you dredge a card and you gain armor equal to that much mana. Well, we have Ceaseless Expanse now, so Warrior manipulates its deck, puts Ceaseless Expanse in the dredge spot, and then dredges it for 125 armor. Now you can either have that with Odin up, and now you're dealing 125 damage as well as gaining 125 armor, or you could just gain the armor now and say ha ha ha, and then build your other little silly like win condition together afterwards. But yeah, no, like I think for a lot of people at the top of the meta, Nazmani Priest, which is basically a deck where you make like show 0 and you spam it over and over and over on a minion with charge. For top players, that is the deck that is making you upset. You wish they had nuked it alongside with Holy Wrath. It's just it's a fast combo deck that races aggro, which means it's like almost never healthy for the format when it's good. It doesn't even like interplay with your board. It just either kills you or it doesn't. Unless like it's not very fun or interactive, or it doesn't allow a lot of agency. We're using our buzzwords. If that deck was gone, I think the top meta would be very close to perfect. But it's not. But even besides that, you drop down into the 10x range, there's a ton you can play and have success. New stuff, old stuff, probably some cooked up stuff. Basically, in Wild, anything that's a Reno deck that's running proactive cards, that's Renathal, it's tier 3. Like any Renathal deck, unless you purposefully make it bad, it's tier 3. So starting from that from a point, you can kind of hit legend with anything right now, and that's pretty cool. Sheep, what are you thinking?
Yeah, honestly, completely agreed. Like, at the top, things are a little bit more, tightened up. That's, the way metas work, pretty normal. Like, if you're just grinding for rank, things are going to get miserable. Like, but outside of that, like top grinding for rank, it's honestly pretty wide open. Like the nerf to discard Warlock opened up the aggro meta so much, because the way that it works so much of the time is just it's an aggro deck that keeps other aggro decks out of the format, like Schmoopy said. Like the the 5 mana card that destroys the board that you're building up to counter theirs. Like, oh no, you're done. The fact that that's gone like has just opened up so much more opportunity for aggro. You can play a whole lot of different things and get there that are board based. But also, like, you can play your Reno slot piles and you can just like grind your way up with these long, grueling games. I've done both the past year. I've had more fun doing the aggro stuff, don't get me wrong, but like both are options that you can take, and like it, no matter what your play style is, I think that there's like a deck for you, and I think that that's the sign of a really good meta, and that's what I've really enjoyed about the wild meta. What do you think, Hydra?
I wanted to add like one more thing to this. So like one of the things that I despise as a more of an aggro player is an enemy that has 40 health. Okay. I hate it. I hate it. And Schmoopydady, you did pick Reno Jackson. Original Reno Jackson is one of my most hated cards. And you're not wrong, right? Like it's the last thing I need to see. However, there is like you can do this. You can do control. You can do these Reno piles, but the aggro is still the aggro is so strong that you can do like a Celsi deckhand with triple Cold Blood with Wind Fury. Put it that way. Like I
Delicious.
don't care that you just Reno'd. You are done. It didn't even matter. So like that's my favorite part about where aggro has gone, and like one of the biggest aggro decks is that Corona, or she calls it Fun Rogue, right? Cool, you healed up to full. You're still dead. That doesn't matter. It's awesome. So like the meta is so diverse, and it's just beautiful. It's great. It's a great time to be playing WoW.
So, assuming that most of our listeners are standard, which I assume, maybe that's the wrong assumption, but whatever. What are some decks people can make that are typically good evergreen? So it's like, hey, I feel like playing wild. Let me just click wild. I have a deck that's already queued up, and it's going to be playable. Like, what are some, you know what I mean? That like have stood the test of time, and that you can just queue them up, like Totem Shaman. I don't know if that's so good anymore, or like that, but like something that people can just jump in and.
That's not a horrible one.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
Even people do play like even Totem Shaman. You can still. I don't know what tier we want to put that in, like a tier 3, maybe. If you like low tier 3, you could still play that and you could still wreck people. Like if you got a low MMR and you've been playing in standard the whole time, you could play even Shaman and you could get legend easy, like totally easy with that deck. Guaranteed. Because I used to do that on the other servers all the time. That's how I would rank up with I would use that deck. And it's still relevant. I'd pick that for sure. And then Pirates, the Ucraft Pirates.
Yeah.
The other is, if you're gonna get into wild, you're gonna want to start crafting. Like if you like to play control, you're gonna start wanting to get into the more control style things. Like what do you want that goes across all classes, right? Like we got the Reno Lone Ranger. We've got like. There's just other cards that are going to be evergreen that you're going to use, right? Like Schmoopydady, what would you say in your, because you've more recently been building your collection, right? So what have you picked as some cards that you've been playing on the other servers?
So I will say that what I would always suggest to standard players dipping their toe in wild is, before they really know exactly what list they want to go out and they want to like just craft from jump, I always suggest cheap decks. And like when I say cheap decks, I mean like cheap and effective. Like I have an elemental mage that's literally either 40 dust short of or the same as a legendary. It's very tempo forwards. There's an RNG element to it. It's got a little bit of reach. Like we have a 0 mana. Your next elemental costs 2 less in wild. We've got Flame Revenant. Is that in standard, where you generate another elemental at a discounted rate, -3 mana? It's amazing what elementals start looking good when you slap 3 mana off of them. Like you just have this like giant boards, and then you solar flare, and it's happening on like turn 3, turn 4. Like you could totally ride it to legend. Treant Druid is tier 1 right now. Totally ride it to legend. Giga cheap deck,
Yep,
2100 dust. Like the boys said, Pirate Rogue is always kind of ticking along in the corner. Pirate Demon Hunter is always ticking along in the corner. XL Call to Arms Paladin, these are more expensive decks, but they're always sort of in the periphery, in the background. They're all sort of playable. I would say if there's one Reno deck that you're going to build towards, I'd build towards some sort of Reno Mage. The Reno cards themselves, the Highlander cards, are usually powerful. They're usually effective. They usually work across several classes. Reno Mage is usually playable in some form or another, whether it's a hostage variant, whether it's the big spell variant, which is very nouveau riche right now. Everybody's playing Reno Big Spell Mage. That deck has gotten 0 no cards this set. That deck, I was playing like the same exact list like 4 months ago. So like that, just decks like Reno Mage or just Reno Staples, if you're looking to do a little bit more variety, Wild is not expensive to be competitive. It's expensive to have variety. And I would say what gives you the most variety is sort of crafting the Highlander like core, and then find a list that you like and kind of go from there.
What would you say to somebody though that like wants to dip into Wild, like with recent decks that are no longer relevant? Like, hey, I want to go play Pure Paladin. Hey, I want to go play Drum Druid. I want to go play. I'm not talking like Patron Warrior or anything like that, but like something that recently fell out of the meta. Is there hope for things like that, or like some tweaks to things like that? Like, what would you suggest to people that like, hey, I want to play a deck that I used to love playing, but that's not there anymore?
Are they trying to win the game? You're trying to beat your opponent, because a large portion of low MMR Wild players are not really interested in winning themselves. They want to see their opponent lose. And so you have an inherent advantage if you're attempting to actually win the freaking game to go and win the game. And these are the viewer decks that I find the most frustrating when I'm playing them. It's just like, they're like, oh, look at my funny deck. And I'm looking at their deck. I'm like, where's the lethality? We're like, no. Like, you disrupt their combo. And I'm like, well, what if they're an aggro deck? Like, it's like running Asli and a Soul Thief in Astral Communion Druid. No, you copy their hand and then you have their hand. I'm like, what if their hand is useless to me? What if their hand doesn't have any goddamn text, Susie? That's like 2 hours and 25 minutes in. Like I think as long as whatever
we're
you're
PG-13,
picking,
it's okay.
Okay, I'm glad as whatever you're picking has like wants to win, you'll probably do fine. To be honest, you'll probably do fine. Go ahead, knock yourself. You could play it to legend.
Yeah, no, I guess your question was like, what's the most recent standard deck that you could transition to Wild? Is that what you're getting at, Tito?
Well, no, just basically like I played the crap out of like Shadow Priest. I played the crap out of Pure Paladin. And if I'm like tired, if I'm like I want to go back to those, like that is technically what like they kind of tried to sell us on Wild. But...
You can do that all day.
Shadow Priest is very good.
Yeah.
Libram Paladin is like
Libram
Paladin is literally 1 card off of Pure, by the way. I think Libram Paladin is just Instrument Tech, and we run one copy of Instrument Tech, because getting the Star Slicer is that important for that deck. But you could cut the Instrument Tech, and you could just run a Pure Paladin payoff at the top end, and that'd be fine. Like, you could run the
Does it run Countess?
Structure it a little differently and run the Purator. Yeah, to hell with it. Like again, like it just like try to win the game. If you try to win the game, you'll do fine in Wild. You'll beat all the nerds on Reddit that are more interested in like, look at the funny thing that I did to my opponent that mildly inconvenienced them that doesn't actually end the game. What the heck? Nerf and Bew Mage. It's like, no, like this is why you lose. This is why you lose. You're like this.
Because I think of Wild and I want to play things like Nozdormude. I pretty much always play Dragon Rogue. because having the dragons summon a bunch of dragons and do all that, most people don't see that. Or Sunkeeper Raroog. That's I mentioned that before. That's like my favorite deck of all time in Wild, is just because it's so like no one sees it coming and no one knows what to do with it. At least at my MMR when I'm playing in Wild, it's just like they're like, what just happened? And then they kill it and they forget that I had a secret that just gave it back to me in my hand. And I play it again and it just kills everything.
Oh well. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. So, yeah. So I'm just curious about like, because that's kind of like what the appeal of why I think if you want to pull more standard players to Wild, it's like, hey, do you remember that deck you loved? You can still play it, maybe with a couple tweaks of cards, but you can still play that. And I don't know, like, how do you? What would your suggestion be if like, hey, how do we get more standard people to play Wild? Like, because this whole year has been like, oh, I'm so tired of like the metas being the same cards. We have this whole other format that you can play whatever you want. Why aren't we going to Wild?
I guess one thing I would
honestly,
say. Oh, Sheep. Yeah, you take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the easiest transition points is like, hey, you remember that deck you loved? Just play it. Like your MMR is probably not that great. Like in Wild, like if you haven't been playing it, you probably have a 2-star. That's to be expected. So get your nostalgia and see like what cards that you haven't seen in a while that like, hey, oh, this is a card that I can work into my deck, and kind of like build that deck building muscle a little bit if that's something that you're not used to building. You can like adapt your decks. You can go to HS Guru and just like pull the big the good the net deck stuff too. Like, don't get me wrong, you can shortcut it like that, but like if what you want from the format is like that nostalgia, starting at that like that 2x, playing your old decks, the perfect place for it. And then if you then want to like use that and springboard into being competitive, it's like the guys have said, it's super cheap to do. Like it's not expensive to get into competitive Wild. There are cheap options tend to you know skew towards the more aggressive and play style for the cheap options, but you know the control ones tend to stay around. The Reno Lone Ranger ain't going anywhere. So if it's something that you're interested in dipping your toe in, you can play your old decks and you can have fun. And then if you want to springboard into like the competitiveness, it's really not that expensive, and it's more inexpensive to keep up with than standard because the cards don't go anywhere. Unless they finally get rid of Ice Block. Please get rid of Ice Block, Blizzard. Please.
Even the problem anymore. Ice Block isn't the problem. They can delete Ice Block, and we still have solid Alibi and Armor Game.
Hey,
it's.
Here's the thing. It's about revenge. It's not about whether it's necessary. It's about revenge, Schmoopydady. You understand this. Exactly, Pylet.
This is fair.
Thank you. You get it.
Yes.
Pylet's on board. Yeah.
No, Sheep, let me ask you this. As I would venture out to say that you're probably out of the three of you guys the one that plays the most standard and Wild. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. You play way more standard. I know Schmoopydady's been dipping his toes into standard a lot more, but Sheep's played a lot of standard.
Sheep always usually hits when Sheep makes up his mind to hit Legend and Standard. He hits Legend and Standard. When I make up my mind to hit Legend and Standard, I get bored around D4, and never
I'm a
pick it up
standard
again.
player myself.
I like do it until I'll hit D4 on like the 16th of the month
secret,
and never go back to it.
I'm bored in standard the entire time.
That's a funny thing is so like I see standard is boring, which is the funny thing, right? Like
right, exactly.
I can't keep my attention span on it. I just can't. I can't get over the hump. I've played a lot of Discover Hunter I say a lot of Discover Hunter. I played like 10 games of Discover Hunter. I called it Ron Mexico's mustache, but Ron Mexico doesn't fit all the way, so it's just Ron's mustache. I've been playing Ron's mustache. up to a blistering silver 4. Thank you very much this month. Last month, I think I took it up to like platinum someplace. I kept my 10x. I have 10x in standard. Like I do dip my toes in.
But my question is basically, is outside of cards and like the pool that you get the pull from, is playing standard? Are you going to have the same skill set as you play in Wild and standard, or is it just like you maybe don't have the matchup knowledge? But if I know how to play standard, am I going to understand how to play Wild at a high level? And at the same point, will playing Wild make me a better standard player?
I think that Wild, there is interplay between strategies, but there's also a lot of strategies that are very much all in, where I think standard, usually you have to figure out your puzzle piece and where you fit into the meta and into the ecosystem. Whereas in Wild, those things get a little bit more generalized because the strategies are a little bit more extreme. Like aggro basically has the same goals everywhere. Reno decks have the same goals pretty much everywhere. It's like you're kind of doing, it's a little bit more solitaire-y, I would think. I don't know. Hydra, what do you think?
I was going to say one of the biggest things I think of when I'm going between the formats are what secrets am I playing around? It is
Which
like
ones do I not have to worry about?
Can they play objection? I don't remember. Right? Like it is huge. Like there's those little things that you need to think about. But like I think they're two different beasts completely. Like, just because you're good at Wild doesn't mean you're good at standard. Because it's a whole other card pool. You could be amazing at Wild to be trash at standard, right? Like it's completely different. And I think it's funny that it's the other way around too. A lot of standard players may think that, oh yeah, I can hop into Wild and I can be amazing. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize these other 2,000 cards didn't exist, right? Like I think they're completely different beasts. And if you don't dip your toe into both, you're going to be caught off guard. So I think that you have to, you can't think that you're just good at one and play the other. You got to be playing both to know what you're doing. But if you are a Wild player, let's put it this way. If you're a Wild player and you've seen every single keyword that exists in the game, then yes, you can go and play standard because you know how the game works. You know how the keywords work and everything.
Reborn in standard? No other card is not an actual evergreen keyword. Shut up, nerd.
But imagine being a standard player who doesn't understand things that are in Wild. That would be a little bit different, right? You not understanding things that are happening the opposite way. It could happen that way. It could happen.
So basically, if you want to make a commander deck in Magic the Gathering, you should be playing Wild, so you can understand that you have to understand all the keywords and not just the ones that are in your deck.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're gonna play Hearthstone, I think that playing Wild is a really good idea to get a grasp on the entire game and not to waste your money by dusting all your cards every rotation.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I only dust the ones that are extras that have been been nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you've gotten to that point where you can do that. A lot of people are desperate to play the new expansion, the new greatest, the latest, the best, right? And so that's what they want to do. They want to compete, and they're stuck in this mode where they feel like they need to continually do that, and that is not the case. There's a certain point where Wild players like us have learned to let go of that and realize that your collection will grow naturally and you don't have to get rid of the old cards, and those old cards will come back, right? And you get to play them eternal, isn't that what they call it, Magic? And and they will come back, and you get to play so many different things, and you just, there's a certain point where you need to stop. If that's what your interest is, it's economically, it is smarter to stop dusting your cards for the latest expansion. And I'm not saying don't work towards latest expansion. Blizzard gives us so much now with the rewards track.
They do.
The gold that we get. Basically, you get so much.
We
and
never
guess
get
what?
a break from free events. Shut up, nerd. Oh my god.
I know they give you like 20 plus. There's like 20 legendaries every expansion. You can't get them all. Guess what? Most of them are trash. Like, you don't need them all. It's like,
It's true.
don't even worry about it. Like everyone's chasing to get the whole thing. It's not a big deal. Look,
Princess Huhuran moment.
look at the quests.
So-
Look at the recent quests.
So, as the person who has probably played the most standard and wild,
Oh, that's where we were.
I would like to actually say that a lot of the skills are transferable. Recognizing like, hey, I'm in an aggro v aggro matchup. Like, I need to play more to the board. Oh, I'm playing against control. Like, they're trying to put roadblocks in the way. I need to disregard what they're doing and go face and try and like win the video game before they can stabilize. Like, a lot of these kind of like pattern recognition are kind of taken to the nth degree in our format, and that has helped me be a better standard player. But at the same time, there are wild is kind of that like Hearthstone kind of to the nth degree, you know, that essence of Hearthstone. So it is that ratcheted up as far as it can go. It's turned up to 11, and you know, like it's the aggro is as aggro as it can get. You know, the snozberries taste like snozberries. The control can just like get 125 armor on turn 3 casually, like pretty consistently, because of tools that we've built up. So if you are easily tilted, I would say this may not be the best format for you, because those kinds of pop-off turns can happen, and it's not anything that you did. It's just like, oh yeah, they got the thing, easy peasy, like shrug next. Whereas in standard, the things seem to be like a lot more like built up, and it's, you know, the board state is more of a at tension, and you're kind of more trying to fight over that than our format, where it's like you're done with the video game before you get to that point, unless your win condition is just never losing the video game. So I think there are a lot of transferable skills, and I think that there are ones that whenever you take them into wild, your skills that you've learned in standard into wild, it kind of really hones it and sharpens it, because it is that kind of Hearthstone at its true essence, in my personal opinion.
Well, you just framed that. Would you say that you have less agency in wild than you do in standard?
Sometimes, yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you queue a matchup in standard, and it's been likened to like going to trial, right? Like you're going to trial and you've gotten a guilty verdict, and you're going through the appeals process, and you know your lawyer is going to like file an extra appeal with like a different organization that's trying to like, you know, overturn, you know, crimes that you didn't do, and you know you did it, and like you're just going through the motions anyway, right? Like sometimes like there are some matchups like that feel like that in standard. At least in wild, it's usually over pretty quickly, one way or another. And not always, I'm not saying like all the time with every matchup. Like sometimes it's slot pile and a slot pile, and it's like, all right, here we go, 10 rounds. But usually when one of those blowout turns happens, if there's very few, you know, answers in the format, you know, it's done. And also those decks tend to get touched too, right? Like those, like if they're really egregious or super popular, they've done a much better job of balancing wild than standard, in my opinion, over the like infinite time, recent memory, like as much as they've let things go. When they touch things in wild, they tend to be very, very purposeful and seemed to take community feedback about like what the zeitgeist would just generally be acceptable with and be okay with. And then I don't know. I have very few balanced complaints. In fact, the only thing I think that people have complaints about in recent memory is like, oh man, I wish they had gotten Osmani Priest, the same patch they had gotten like Discard Warlock and Holy Wrath Paladin, because then like people would be like super happy, I think, about where things are. But you know what? Like things are pretty good now. Like
Yeah.
It's over more quickly is not usually a selling point, but
can be if you're neurodivergent.
That's also true with this.
Guilty.
Yo, hey.
I'm already
Me too.
picturing this podcast being one of those ones because there's going to be a lot of podcasts that take off like sometime during the winter break, and we're not going to. So I can almost see like people like, hey, oh wait, look, I still haven't listened to half of that last episode with Bread and Butter where we had. So, Pylet, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think kind of, chiming in with what you talked about, the wild versus standard skills. Like, I feel like as a Hearthstone player, like I have very strong, basic, mechanical play to where, I read the plays, I do those things well. My problem when I go to wild is I don't know what the cards are. There's, 2,000 some cards. I'm like, what is this? Where is this coming from? And when you don't know those things, the wild decks are just so much more hyper efficient in what they're doing compared to standard. You look at an aggro deck in wild, and it's going to beat you down very quickly. We, think that, aggro demon hunter, the pirate aggro demon hunter in standard right now is probably about the fastest that we have, and it would well outclip, well outdone by wild. But also, like, when I dipped my toe in the other week, I thought I was doing just fine, and I got killed by the boar warlock because I didn't know this card existed that let them play the bat mask on turn 5 or whatever it was, and I just lost.
Get tossed into Mordor. A candidate get tossed into Mount Mordor. Elwyn freaking Boar. You're a meme card. Know your place, pig. Know your place, pig. I'll make bacon of you.
Blood Bloom used to cost 2, man. Blood Bloom used to cost 2.
So is that
You
what
guys are welcome to
like?
steal the Mordor thing. You guys can steal the Mordor thing for your show. I approve.
Yeah, I don't even think they had played a board yet, so where I'm like, okay, I don't know what they're doing. I'm doing fine. I have no mana.
Once they play one, you're done, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not if you have 125 armor. Yeah. If you have 125 armor, you have answers.
That is fair.
That's why I pick warrior for your favorite clash movie, Daddy.
So, like, that's definitely, for the standard players going over, I think that that's kind of the biggest barrier if you're going in planning on being competitive. Normally when I'm venturing over, I'm just like, this deck looks really dumb and fun, and I'm going to play my 10-15 games with it and just do the stupid thing and enjoy it and be fine with that. I was looking through while they were talking about it, the decks I played, and most of it is I had like a taunt menagerie warrior that was just a low to the ground, buff taunts, buff menagerie, hit people with them. And it wasn't a great deck, but it was fine. I played like a small beast Flash Fisher hunter years ago. That was really fun. Because I enjoyed it as standard. It rotated. I'm like, fine, let's take all these little, token cards and buzzard and do this thing with it. I played last time I had Schmoopy on the podcast, he sent me a Wishing Well Rogue, and I played a few games of that, and I did actually win a game. And it's just those fun, just random things that you're able to do, and that's a whole different subset of wild than the competitive side.
I think you're lying a little bit. I think you're lying because you said, when I feel like going to wild playing a deck, I'll play this deck. No, you usually go into wild like, hey, I'm 2-14 in standard. I'm going to go play wild for a little bit.
No, that's normally when I go to arena.
You can even bring your 30 for 30 standard deck into wild and probably do pretty well. Yeah. Because
honestly,
again, you're trying to win the game.
Yes.
Your opponent is not. They're trying to make you lose. So if you're at Reddit MMR, you're good to go. Like I was watching people incredulous in wild discords being like, how is standard Protoss priest doing so well in wild, looking at gold through 1 billion stats? And it's like, because it's trying to win, you idiot. Like you're trying to make the biggest, you're trying to make the biggest like treant possible in the most inefficient way possible with freaking, you know, what's the giant tree's name? Oh my God, the 7-mana guy. You drop
Or
him
the
down.
Maitri.
Goru. You're trying to do like,
Yes.
you're trying to make and bounce Goru right now.
Oh, I do it all the time. It's fun.
And they're discounting their carriers by 45. They're going to play all the pieces that when you finally kill that thing, you're not going to kill it. But like, let's pretend that you do, because it's a copy and it takes double damage. Like, so like, yeah, no, just, that's fine. Take your standard deck into it. It doesn't, nothing matters.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
and one thing that I do want to highlight too, that Schmoopy has highlighted to me personally in the past, is that honestly the MMR is very forgiving. The MMR is super forgiving. Like I've tanked my MMR so much that like what one season I didn't hit legend. The very next season I was in top 100. Like it's absolutely possible like to just like completely go from that, like, oh, not only that 9x and then entered like at like low wild and climbed up and was able to actually get up there. So it's forgiving in your MMR, so you can have fun. You can tank your rank and not really worry so much about not being able to climb back up there. I think that's another kind of like one of those highlighting features of the format, to be completely
especially
frank.
In your first season as well, before like your rank is solidified before the next season. You know what I mean? Like you can go in with your standard deck or your cheap wild deck, and you could like totally get like a 75% win rate to legend, and you could get it. You could get it your first season, but just remember, you've now set yourself up for next season. You're going to actually have like a solid MMR, and you're going to verse players to similar
who know
rank.
what they're doing.
But yeah, who know what they're doing. But you could we used to call it in StarCraft like comp stomps, right? Like you're basically comp stomping your way up to the top against people at a lower MMR. If you have a legit deck that Schmoopydady says can win, even if it's a standard deck, if it can win, like you can get there.
Tries to win, not can win, tries to win. Very important distinction.
One with a win condition.
Usually around the 15th of the month, I sometimes accidentally queue into wild because I haven't switched back to standard with whatever deck I wanted to play, and I usually win more than I lose with that deck.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
There you go.
We are now probably, this might be our longest episode ever at this point. I'm not sure, but I think it's time to wrap up. Do we have any other final things we want to talk about there, Pylet, or are we good?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, give Wild a shot.
Yep, Wild's fun. I have most of my collection, and I like diving in there. And make sure, if you are curious, wild curious, you listen to the Born to Be Wild podcast, which is on every Friday night. I know when my Discord gives me a notification around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on I see the little one pop up next to Discord. I'm like, oh, that's just Born to Be Wild announcing they're going live. So normally we ask a final question, and we've already asked you guys the final question, the typical what your favorite dessert is. Everyone's answered that at some point. Not that I remember your answers. So we have a new question for you guys tonight. If you were going to be a D&D, what D&D character do you think your fellow co-hosts would roll if they were going to play a D&D? If you guys were going to do a D&D session, what do you think your fellow podcasters would roll? Schmoopy, why don't you just start us out?
Oh boy. This is tricky. I thought you were going to ask about butter chicken. Okay. I think sheep would.
Butter chicken?
Forget about it.
Don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. It's a callback. I think sheep would be some sort of berserker class. I have never personally done I'd never done D&D, but I think sheep would be some sort of like whatever, and just jump into the fray, spin the do I live, do I die, do I roll a 20, who cares? Like because I know I know he can't pay attention for that long, so like the campaign's gonna go fast either way, right?
I do tend to play chaotic good. Yeah, that is accurate.
That sounds about right.
Much, at least.
What would Hydra be? Oh man. I am gonna guess that Hydra. Okay, Hydra doesn't strike me as the type that's gonna go get his hands dirty. He doesn't look like the guy that's just gonna wade in and go nuts. I know he plays a lot of aggro decks, but like,
have you met Hydra?
Isn't he Hydra? Aren't you like an engineer or something?
No. Not that. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, he's not gonna go in and just start brawling or anything like that. Like, I think. I'm gonna say necromancer. I'm gonna say necromancer. I think he's gonna he's gonna craft some stuff. He's gonna bring some stuff back from the dead. He's gonna like kind of do some like nefarious things in the corner. I don't know. That's just the vibe I get from Hydra.
Hydra, what are your thoughts?
All right, so for sheep, we start with sheep. I get to think of. I know your name is Sheep, ElectricSheepCity, but I'm gonna think you more of a shepherd. In this, I think you like to play druid, right? So you like to get your minions out, you like to summon them, and you like to swarm, and you like to buff. So you're not the sheep, you're the shepherd. So
it's gonna summon
it's not
sheeps.
necessarily yeah, he's a summoner, man. It's not necessarily like a necromancer, which it's like death sheep or anything, but like maybe it's kind of like a yeah, I know you're laughing, but like a druid, it's like you ever play like Diablo and stuff, and like you get to summon your golems, and you get to summon like you get to summon. So he's a summoner. So sheep is a summoner, and he is the shepherd, and all these. Just imagine.
I love that.
Like, yeah. Sheep is the shepherd, right? And he's gonna get all his sheeps all after your ass. I'm gonna say that. So yeah, sheep is now the shepherd. Schmoopydady is going to be some psychotic combo crazy man. So like he's confused. He's like the guy who lives in like a town, and people are coming to with his ideas, their concoctions, and he's like losing his mind. They're trying to pay him to like, hey, I'll give you money if you do this. I'll give you money if you do that.
Sounds shockingly accurate.
And Schmoopydaddy's like, I don't know which one should I? I'll do them all, right? Like, I'll take all your money. I'll do everything. So Schmoopydaddy's out there, and he's just like doing the craziest combos, and sometimes he just dies, right? So he's what would you call it? Chaotic,
alchemist? Am I an alchemist? I don't know.
Yeah. No, what's like a chaotic person that's like a glass
chaotic neutral is like the more like character alignment. Yeah.
Like what but he's a bit of a glass cannon though. Like I think he's like going like all out with as much as he can be crazy and smart and kick our butts with. But he's got the weakness of being like maybe a bit of a glass cannon because he's going all in on these strats.
Sheep, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, so my initial thought was Hydra is a rogue, 100%. Like he's going in there, he's shadow stepping, he's like twisting the knife in, like you don't even know that he's there. Like he is 100% that like top tier rogue. You know, you're talking to him, he's got that like great charisma roll, like you don't even notice that he's stolen your entire like the pouch of gold, like because he's dazzling you with his speech the entire time, and like he just took you for all you're worth. Like he's that like king of the rogues. Schmoopydady, I agree, glass cannon. I went mage with Schmoopydady. Like absolutely. Like he's going in there, he's fireballing like immediately, like he's wasting all his mana, but you know what? He's having so much fun. And then like he's gonna find like some kickin' rad like potions and all sorts of stuff to like juice his mana back up and polymorph some more sheeps for me now in my shepherd role, which like, oh my gosh, like I love that. By the way, I want to play a campaign as the shepherd now, Hydra. Like, let me tell you what. But yeah, that's my assessment.
Then that's just Mass Effect, right? Is Shepard? Is that
Shepard is at Mass Effect. Yeah.
okay. I got that from listening to Squelch. So if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/breadandbutterhs. You get raw audio early. You get access to a members channel on Discord where you have wonderful guests like Hydra, Schmoopydady, and Sheep, where you can ask questions and usually they answer. You can help us shape future episodes and ask questions of our future guests. Like upcoming, we have Just a Guy in Storm Rage. We have a great episode planned for that. And then we have Jean Bray and Baby Bear to round out the year. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be talking about deck building with Jean Bray. You ever heard Jean Bray deck? You know, he is probably one of the more interesting deck builders out there. So if you have questions for him, let us know. And the best way to get those questions is to join the Patreon. If you'd like to help us in a non-financial way, you just let people know that we exist and that we have wonderful guests on, because we want more people to hear our wonderful guests spend time with us, talk to you. So we just want more people to hear them. So let them know. And if you leave us a review, that really helps. And you can find us on all the places, especially Bread and Butter HS on YouTube. We post clips from the show and full episodes on VODs. If you prefer to fill it in with, if you'd rather view the video instead of listening to the audio, we have that too. Would anybody from the Born to Be Wild side like to promote their show like you normally do at the end of it?
Yeah, well, we have a website, borntobewildhs.com, and you can also check out our Twitch at Born to Be Wild, or twitch.tv/borntobewildhs.
And Hydra, where can people find you on the social medias?
Well, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter, both at Hydralisk_HS, also on Blue Sky at just Hydralisk, no _HS. I totally got the Hydralisk. I didn't need no underscore. Yeah.
How about yourself, Sheep? Where can people find you on social media?
I can be found around the internet at ElectricSheepCity at places where that fits, like Twitch, and at eSheepCity at places where that does not fit, like Twitter.
And Hydra?
You did me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Schmoopy.
Phrasing.
I was looking at Schmoopy and I said Hydra.
You can
Schmydra.
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Discord as Schmoopydady, spelled 3 different ways because I never intended to ever make content with this stupid nickname, and I am too lazy to change it. So now it's your problem. And I am Schmoopydady HS with 1D, I believe. I don't know. You'll figure it out. Schmoopydady HS on YouTube for just my individual content.
Schmoopydady with a D. Got it.
Perfect.
Pylet, where can people find you?
You can find me Pylet712, that's PYLET, on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Discord.
And I think you can find me editing this episode because it's going to take me like 7 hours to get through this. But you can also find me at Twitter, Twitch. Okay.
I was gonna say, it also looks like you're gonna be in prison. You're already wearing the uniform.
No, I'm wearing a Squelch.
Oh, it's yellow. It looked like the yellow. Or so the orange, like orange is the new black man. They told us that on TV.
But you can find me at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, and anywhere else at titosantanahs. Especially YouTube, we promote lots of stuff from the stream is what I do. Thank you. Hydra, would you have anything you'd like to promote or shout out this week?
Actually, you know, I'd just like to shout out you guys. Thanks for letting us come on as a full pod. It's been pretty cool to have a crossover of two podcasts. There's been a lot of podcasts that have come and gone, and I'd like to congratulate you guys. You're on episode 149. I think that is super solid. It is not easy to get to 149 episodes. So
I can't even count that.
keep
high.
it going. You're doing. No, he can't. He's not lying. But no, anyway. Congratulations, you guys. 149. That's absolutely amazing. Keep it going. So I want to shout you guys out for doing what you're doing. Keep it going.
A big reason why we got this far was when sometimes we had a little instability. Sheep was there to help fill in the gaps. So, Sheep, do you have anything you'd like to shout out or promote this week?
Oh, shucks. First, I would just like to completely echo what Hydra said. Cannot phrase it enough. Y'all are entering a very important milestone coming up next week, and congratulations, y'all. Other than that, honestly, just my wife for dealing with me coming into my home office and shutting my door for extended periods of time to hang out with cool cats like y'all. So yeah, that's about it. Y'all and my wife.
Nice.
Schmoopydady?
I'm going to echo Hydra and Sheep. Echo, echo, echo.
Hello. All right. Pylet?
I'm gonna swap it around and give a shout out to you three for being on. It's a lot of fun, and as chaotic as expected. And then also shout out to future Tito and his 7 hours of editing that he has to do.
7 hours later.
Oh.
So, and I
7
can tell Hydralisk was thrilled that we offered to.
Oh, I'm so
that he
stoked because he has to do it instead of instead of me.
Yes, before the show they were talking about it. And Tito's like, I could just send you the edited version of the audio, so we're not both doing it. And Hydra now it's just like, yes, best decision he made all day.
He silenced over to the editing. He sent the editing.
Yes.
Yep. No. That'll be my job. So we're already well past when I normally go to bed.
Yep.
But I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to get up early. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home. And I'm going to edit the podcast. I'm going to cry. So it's fine.
In that order.
But definitely, pretty much in that order, yeah. But definitely, thank you guys for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's been really fun. We should do this at least once a year just to kind of get caught up on the wild thing because we aren't. But we have one last thing to deal. So.
Unrelated advice
Oh.
with special guest of the week.
That special guest is actually Pylet. So Pylet, I have a question for you. Your wife has told you that you need to bring a dish to someone's house, and that dish specifically has to be butter chicken. And she's gone. She's gone. Everyone's gone. There's no one to help you. All right? There's no one there. You have to make butter chicken. How do you make butter chicken?
Okay, this explains why I was so confused earlier at what the butter chicken reference was supposed to be.
It was a pre-callback.
I see that. I feel like something on the smoker is the best way to do that. I feel like I would do some sort of smoked butter chicken.
Okay, how is it? You need to explain to me how you're going to make it.
Oh, goodness.
Like step by step, how are we making
Step
this?
by step? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You can
I
see
don't-
Schmoopydady hiding his face. We've done this to him.
yeah, I don't trust myself with a full rotisserie style chicken, so we're doing chicken breast because something would go astray.
Okay.
So,
You're already doing better. Okay.
so we're gonna do
Twice.
that. We're gonna do probably
better
in
than
some
both
sort
times.
of pan or tin, so we can dump a whole bunch of butter in there, and then I have no idea what we're seasoning it with because it's after midnight and I'm too tired to think what seasonings are. But I have, I think I have a really solid. Well, so I think I have a really solid poultry, like poultry seasoning from Traeger that I'd put on afterwards. We'll go with that.
Well, thankfully, Pylet probably has a late start tomorrow with the snow.
I'm
but
hoping.
just because we went late,
We're not confirmed.
he probably
yet. We'll
won't.
talk about that later.
but anyway, guys, I think we're toast. We'll see you.
Wise
Bye.
words have never been spoken.
Slide two brothers meet one another when they slide up to the mic. It's bread and butter with one another. Let's start up that recording light.